what you did, you little jerk.
What's going on, Jerk Faces? A bonus episode of the Circle of Jerks podcast for those of you fellow cinephiles. And we're going to be talking about another movie topic, talking about our top 5 favorite films. And we're not talking about top 5 films like of all time, but our own personal top 5. So this is a very subjective list that we're all going to be presenting. And we would love for you guys to comment about, like, you know, what are your top 5 favorite films? Do you agree with our top 5, or do you think we're full of shit?
Or you call us, like, you know, people with no taste.
Yeah, and as
I fully admit I'm full of shit.
Yeah. And again, as always, our faithful Andy.
Yes.
How's it going, Andy? Faithful host
from the beer that we had.
Your faithful host, Robert. That's me. And also back again, the lower half of Nam Fam Bam, Eric Nam.
The non-existent half.
All right. So top 5 favorite films, personal favorite top 5 films.
Are we qualifying these, or just
qualifying how?
Or is like why we like them?
Oh yeah, we're gonna do like maybe a short synopsis of why we like those films as well.
Okay.
Just, you know, for the sake of time, so we have some, you know, because I could just like run off a list and then 10 minutes in we're done.
Like, all right, thanks. Have a nice day.
Yeah, it's like, Andy, why don't you hit us off?
All right. Okay. Since I mean, I didn't prepare like these guys. I'm just like completely shooting from the hip.
I love that.
But now that, you know, it's just, you know, our own personal tastes, and it's not necessarily overall. This is in no particular order. I'm gonna start it off with something a little bit more recent, and I'm gonna say Captain America: Civil War. I love that movie. It harkens back to like those old like 70s like spy mysteries, you know, and great action sequences, car chases.
You're talking about Civil War or Winter Soldier?
Winter Soldier.
Okay, yeah, you said Civil War. That's why I just wanted. Yeah.
Oh, okay, my bad. But
Captain America: Winter Soldier. The second one.
The second one, yes.
The second Captain America film. Okay, great.
It hits like the fight scene alone between the initial fight scene between Captain America and the Winter Soldier. Oh my God, it's so great. I love the choreography. It's very satisfying. There's that one part where, like, you know, basically, you know, Captain America does a flying knee into the chest of the Winter Soldier, and it's like just boom. It's like, it's so satisfying.
It's a good film.
Yeah, and just in terms of like the story, also it's a great one. It's like, you know, something's amiss, and, you know, Captain America has to like figure things out, and he's not necessarily being Captain America. He's just, you know, kind of like, you know, he's Steve Rogers, and he's like trying to figure things out.
And just to, you know, kind of comment a little bit on yours, like the reason I like that film a lot is because you start to see where, you know, Captain America it's not just the rah America, you know, follow orders. Like, he starts to question himself in that film and question the you know, who's behind the orders in that, and
also his purpose.
Exactly, and
he's an absolute character in a not non-absolute world,
and that's what makes the film so good.
Yeah,
I have to agree with that. Good choice.
Yes.
All right.
Indeed. Second one. Again, no particular order. I'm gonna say Dumb and Dumber.
Okay.
That's
Dumb
funny.
and Dumber.
That's Sarah's favorite movie.
Yeah.
she thinks it's the greatest movie ever made.
I mean,
it's a good movie, though.
It's a great movie.
It's a great movie. I mean,
Farrelly Brothers.
I think that was like they're at the top of their game.
Except they directed Green Book, right?
They did.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah,
and which almost won the Best Picture. Did it?
I think it did.
Picture?
It was close. I don't know if it did. Oh wait, did it?
I think it did.
It got Best Picture. Right?
Yeah, it got Best Picture over another one, some other movie.
Yeah, over Bohemian Rhapsody.
Right.
Over, I don't know what
Black Panther was another one.
Black Panther.
There was another movie people were more looking forward to.
They thought it was going to win. What was it? I don't really pay attention to Oscars.
Some lesbian dance theory movie that that nobody watched.
Yeah.
But yeah, Green Book.
They directed Green
They
Book.
did Green Book. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there.
And for
They're
you fans
legit.
for you fans out there that watch Nocturnal Transmissions, we just did a review on that. So why don't you go check that
Green
out?
Book.
No.
Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just think it was the perfect comedy. Great use of like physical comedy and also like subversion of expectations.
Yep.
Just I think it hit like all like the good comedy
And acting.
and acting.
Yeah. So you're saying there's a chance,
Yeah, right?
That defines.
Yeah, that defines the human male.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When it comes to women, it's like any small sliver of chance.
yeah.
It's like that's like 100%.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and it's great because you see like the dejection on Jim Carrey's face, and then he brightens up. It's like, so you're saying there's a chance? It's
It's so
great.
good.
I love that
So good.
scene.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Again, I'm sorry because I didn't think this out. This is like me coming in off the dome right now.
No, I think that's great. Yeah.
What else? Probably I'm trying to hit like different genres. Oh, Reservoir Dogs.
Oh,
I love Reservoir
that's
Dogs.
Why do you like Reservoir
Yes.
Dogs, Andy?
Because I think, well, one, it's like, it's, you might say that it's what is it? Quentin Tarantino, like kind of perfecting himself. He's kind of playing with the ideas that he's gonna then take into like subsequent movies, like just right after that Pulp Fiction,
Mhm.
like you could see like elements from that.
Sure.
But I think it's just great. I think the dialogue was really great. I love like the kind of like building like the humanness of the characters into the dialogue was
Yeah.
great. Like just like the like the diner scene where Mr. Pink talks about, oh, I don't give tip.
Yeah.
And it's like one of those like you kind of don't think about it, but it's like, wow, that's really it grounds these people, ground these characters in like reality. Like that could be a conversation that anyone in the country could have with like their friends.
Absolutely.
I think that's his best
brilliant.
film, but that's
Yeah,
Have you guys done an Tarantino?
We have not yet.
We haven't yet.
that might be something we might do.
Yeah, that might be. Yeah,
I'm
that
so
must be on
down
the queue.
to do a Tarantino.
Okay, well,
Okay.
all right, we might have to do that.
Yeah, but
That's
again,
a great choice.
Yeah.
Sorry, quick side note. We are doing in I think June. We're doing a ode to 1939. So we're watching all the best films from 1939.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What?
We did that last
What's
year,
an
right?
example?
No, we have not done that yet.
Oh.
What movie?
We did watch a film from 1939 that was one of the films that was up for Best Picture, but there was so many films that changed film in 1939.
Oh, really?
And there was like I think about like 9 or 10 films that were up for Best Picture.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
So that's why we're doing it. So
Okay.
it's like most notably Wizard of Oz. You have
Was that 1939?
1939.
Oh, wow.
Oh.
It's that old?
Yeah.
Jesus.
That's before
And,
U.S. involvement in World War II.
Yeah, and I figured
yeah.
because it's this is the 80th anniversary of that.
And that's the only
Oh my
reference
God, it is. Huh?
Captain America got.
Bingo, bango, bongo.
Oh, wow.
So we might have to include you on that.
Hey, I'm down.
All right.
Awesome.
Anytime.
Yeah.
I'll be here.
All right.
So Reservoir Dogs.
Reservoir Dogs. Yes.
Reservoir
Yeah.
Dogs.
Yes. I feel like we can do a whole podcast about that.
That shit is so good.
Yeah.
Just like the layers of it and how it's like, who was Harvey Keitel's character?
He's Mr. White.
Mr. White. Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like his. It was really like almost like a father-son story.
Yeah.
Between him and
He's so conflicted.
between
Mr. Orange?
Mr. Orange.
Yeah.
It's a really good story.
And the betrayal.
Yeah, and when
Pain
Mr. Orange reveals like it was me, it's
Yeah.
like just like that completely destroyed him.
Harvey Keitel is such a good crier. He cries a lot in the movie. He's such a good crier. And like Tarantino kind of creates his universe, which is kind of cool, especially early on. There's a lot of theories like Vic Vega, who is Mr. Who is he? Mr. Black? No. Michael Madsen's character.
Right.
Who is he? Mr. Yellow. No? God, I'm just making up colors now.
Yeah. I know there was white, brown, orange, pink.
Pink.
Of course.
Who was Michael Madsen?
Oh, it's been so long since I've seen Reservoir Dogs.
Yeah, it's been
about 10 years.
But anyway, he was supposed to be. He's Vincent Vega's brother.
Oh.
Right? A lot of people say. And he was in jail. Vincent Vega, was he in jail too? In Pulp Fiction? He did serve time, right? And he came out.
I think that's the case, but I'm drawing a blank.
Yeah. That's for another episode.
Yeah, for another episode.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
That's for the Tarantino month for Nocturnal Transmissions that all three of us will be doing.
Oh my gosh, I can't believe
That is so fun. So that's number 3?
Yeah, that's number 3. Number 4. Oh, here's a out of left field kind of war movie. I'm gonna say U-571.
I know the movie, but
Yeah.
I'm kind of shocked.
Yeah, it's a story about this American subcrew who has to go and intercept a crippled U-boat, and it's basically a race because the U-boat, it was reported sunk. But the intelligence that was gathered, they said they're sending out like repair ships. So why would they be doing that if this ship didn't go down? And so this American submarine crew is tasked to go and pose as the German subcrew and get the Enigma device. For those of you that unaware, that's the device that the Germans used.
I'm one of those that are unaware. I don't know what you're talking about.
The Enigma device was a coding machine used by the Germans during World War II that encoded all of their messages.
Oh.
Yeah, and one of the things that led to the Allied victory was their getting their hands on this thing. The Enigma coding machine and decoding, being able to decode all of the ciphers.
Cool.
And so they were able to get there in time, but then the actual Germans came and torpedoed the American ship, and the Americans have to go on this crippled U-boat and kind of survive. And it's a really interesting story because actually Matthew McConaughey is on, and Harvey Keitel.
They're in that?
Yeah, they're both in this movie.
How? I've never heard of this movie.
Really? Okay, well, check it out.
I'll be honest, I haven't seen U-571 either, so I might have to check this out.
Yeah, I'll check it out.
It's a really interesting story because it's also about.
So is it like a docudrama?
No. It's kind of based in some historical events, but mostly fiction.
It's a historical fiction.
It's historical fiction.
Okay.
Right, and because
which I love.
Matthew McConaughey plays the kind of XO for the subcrew, and he actually put in for a command of his own, but was turned down because his captain, told him oh, he's not ready yet.
Oh.
And so he kind of has but then he finds out about this, and so they have to go and do this mission, and the worry is that he won't be able to perform because he has these kind of begrudging feelings against his captain, but also there's this really great scene where he comes in and gives the captain some reports, and then the captain kind of explains himself, say, oh, you're a good submariner. He's like, but you're not ready to be captain yet, or he asks him. It's you're doing a good job with the men, and Matthew McConaughey's character is like, yes sir, I die for any one of them. It's like, well, okay, yeah, I know you would, but who would you send to die for you? And then he couldn't answer, and it's like, oh, see, that hesitation, that's why you're not ready for a command. And so during this whole thing where they're trying to evade the Germans, he kind of grows into being a leader.
Oh.
And so I like that. I like the movie because it's about it's about this character's personal growth and his eventual understanding. Because even there's a moment where the crew almost mutiny because because they're surfaced and they're trying to pass off as Germans, and like this German plane is like flying above them, and then it looks like this one German plane is about to come and like strafe them, and then one of the crew's like, come on, get on that gun, shoot him down, and then like even though Matthew McConaughey, he's an officer, and he's telling them stand down. And so there was like the hesitation, like the crewman, he was about to fire, but luckily it was just kind of Germans, brothers in arms, just like razzing him and just did a flyby.
Does it take place on a submarine?
Yeah, it takes place on
the whole movie.
The whole movie.
Oh, how does that compare to like Hunt for Red October or Crimson Tide?
I think the stakes are a little bit more immediate, so it's like kind of like. How people are, there's that line in what is it, Pearl Harbor, where the Joint Chiefs comes with an idea. It's like, oh, this is actually not my idea, it's his idea. It's like, who are you? It's like Commander Walker, he's a submariner. It's like, oh, I like sub commanders, they don't have time for bullshit. Which is true,
That's very true.
Yeah, very true. You have to make decisions, right?
Yeah. Fuck subs, by the way. I was in the Navy, and I would never. Yeah, I would never go. They tried to get me on to go on a sub, and fuck subs. Like those guys are wild, man. I'll have to say, like I couldn't do it.
How long do they go under for?
They're 6 months.
6 months?
6 months at a time.
You might not see light of day for 6 months.
That takes a different kind of person to be able to do that.
That's I couldn't do it.
Oh yeah, people. I don't like being on a plane for more than 6 hours.
Right. Yeah, but that movie is like all about like kind of growth and
okay.
Yeah, because even like Harvey Keitel, because he's like a senior kind of enlisted man, and and he kind of has to play second.
When did this come out?
Late 90s.
Really?
Yeah. But I like it.
I missed that one.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those good kind of movies for like personal development and growth. It's like you have to understand like leadership isn't about everyone liking you. Yeah. Because sometimes leadership means like you have to put people in harm's way.
Yeah. Makes sense.
That sounds like now I'm gonna have to watch this film.
Me too.
Yeah.
I love it.
I know. I was thinking, should I do Saving Private Ryan? Because I really love that movie.
Oh, it's so good.
So good. So good.
I've seen it probably about like 24 times.
Yeah. But I think but I really enjoy U571. Every time like I do catch it like on TV, I will watch it. I will find myself watching it.
Cool.
Yeah.
That's all what I was kind of hoping for. Is like you guys will come up with like completely different like top 5 lists. Right. It's like stuff that I haven't seen. So I'm very happy that like a new movie's on there. So like gotta watch it.
Yep.
All right, and then so the last one. I hit pretty much all the main genres.
Is there anything from like what we have reviewed? Do you think that like is on that list? Is there anything like new to your list you think that has been added over the past like year or two that we've been doing movie reviews?
Yeah. Okay, then I'm gonna say Casablanca.
Oh, that's gonna be on.
We're gonna have some overlap.
Yeah. No, it's really. I mean, this is. I never because until we actually sat down and had to like watch it to review it. Like I don't think I've actually ever seen it straight through. I may have seen like bits and parts, or like I flipped into the channel and AMC was playing it, and I was watching it for like a little bit, and then I got bored or whatever.
Yeah.
But actually, like watching it straight through, I was like, this is a really good movie. Like legitimately, no kind of like pretentiousness. Just like it's a really good movie.
I haven't watched it in so long. I gotta watch it again. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah. So that's my personal pop.
Recapping. Sorry, I like to make lists.
Yeah.
I know. Thank you. You're now the official recorder.
I know, right?
of the Circle of Jerks podcast.
The minutes writer. So I guess recapping Andy's top 5 in no particular order: Captain America: Winter Soldier, Dumb and Dumber, Reservoir Dogs, U571. Is that what it's called? And Casablanca.
Yes.
All right.
All right, and also in no particular order, because we'll go clockwise. We'll end with you, Eric.
Okay.
Does that sound okay?
Yeah, totally.
Okay, all right. So my top 5, and we're gonna have a little slight overlap in the case that, and sorry for you, and this is also no particular order, and sorry for you, Citizen Kane fans, but I think the greatest film of all time is Casablanca, and that's gonna be number 1 on my list.
All right.
I just think that, and like I said, Citizen Kane is great. It's a good movie. But Casablanca, I feel it just great characters, great dialogue. I think the story holds up even, what is it, 70 years later? And God, it's such a good film. And it just, I love Humphrey Bogart. I think he's one of the greatest actors of all time.
Definitely one of the coolest.
And just the scene where they have I think one of the greatest scenes in that film is where you have the Germans that are they're singing the national anthem, and then the French are trying to kind of overpower them, they're singing their national anthem over as loud as they can over that, and it's just the power of that scene. Oh man, it just the whole movie just captured me. It's such a good film. I've actually got my girlfriend she's Chinese, and I was and she was trying to understand the stuff that I like, and so she actually watched it with Chinese subtitles, and so I was this is one of my.
I wonder how that would be.
And so I don't know how that played out.
How did they translate? Here's looking at you, kid.
Yeah, but it's but she was watching it with Chinese subtitles. So I was this is my favorite film, and I think is one. Not only is it my favorite, I actually think this is the greatest movie ever created.
Wow!
And and it's just. God,
I
it's so good.
Gotta watch that again.
So that's my number 1.
Okay,
it's that actually is my number 1.
Okay, so
1,
2 through 5 is no particular order.
No, 2 through 5 is no.
Okay.
Because I argue that Casablanca is greater than Citizen Kane.
Wow.
So
it's a bold statement.
Yeah, it is. And Citizen Kane is good. It's a very good film.
Wow.
Number 2, I'm gonna go with one of my favorite directors, Christopher Nolan. I love Memento. I watched that. I've probably seen that about a dozen times, and I get something new out of that film every time.
It's one of those.
It's one of those things where it does take multiple viewings to the twists and turns in that film are so great. The character interactions are great. And because I don't want to give it away, because I want people to hear our list and hey, I haven't seen that film, or I haven't thought of that film in a while. Let's go back and watch.
Right.
And Memento is one of those films where I don't want to give because telling the story gives the plot away. And it's so good. It was a Guy Pearce was the lead actor in that film, and fuck man, he's so good in that film. I think it's one of Christopher Nolan's best films. That was the first film I saw of his, and I think he's one of the greatest directors of this. That was
his breakthrough film. That's his second film, but that was his breakthrough.
That was his breakthrough film.
Following on the radar,
Following was the first one, right? That he did with his brother.
Because this is the first one I saw of his, and I was hooked from that point on. And it's a good film. It's great. Memento was my number 1 until I got into Casablanca. And Casablanca, I actually argue that's the best film of all time. So I can't put Memento number 1 over that. So
just to nerd out a little bit, what did Nolan do after Memento?
Oh crap! I don't remember his first film. The film after that.
So it went Following, Memento.
You look, Andy. Can you look that up real quick? Because there's a few of Nolan's films I haven't seen yet that I want to see.
The Magician. What was that?
Yeah, Prestige.
That one I haven't seen yet.
Yeah, I haven't seen that either.
Oh, yeah. I
heard it's amazing.
It's good.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, that I haven't seen either. So I will say I haven't seen all of Nolan's films.
Yeah, but I haven't either.
But I'm definitely I'm gonna get there. Don't worry.
Yeah.
I'm kind of like holding off a little bit.
So can I ask you, speaking of Nolan, Memento over Inception, or is Inception coming up?
Inception is not on this list.
Oh wow, Memento over Inception. I love Inception.
No. Don't get me wrong. I love Inception too, but I think it's kind of like in the gaming community, there are some games where like where the first one you watch is your favorite. So I think Inception is great. It's really good. Yeah. And I'm also kind of going with Andy, like kind of like I don't want to put like two directors, like the same director like twice in this list. Yeah. But it's also like like Legend of Zelda, like the first one you normally Final Fantasy, same thing, and it's kind of like so to me like Memento is the one that was the film that really like captivated me towards Christopher Nolan.
Gotcha. Okay.
That doesn't mean that like it's necessarily his best film, right. But that's my favorite of his.
Gotcha.
I love how he did that film.
Yeah.
I mean, you like I said,
I remember when I first saw it, I was like, whoa, I've never seen a movie like this.
Yeah, because I didn't see Prestige, I didn't see his very first one, because Memento was my first, and then like right after that, like I've seen all of his stuff. Yeah. So I will continue to see all of the films that he makes, because I think they're great. I know he's working on one right now.
Nolan?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Oh, yeah.
What is he working on right now?
I forget like the title of what it's going to be.
Did you guys like Dunkirk?
I loved it.
I loved it. I love Dunkirk.
Dunkirk was amazing.
And see, sorry, little side note. Dunkirk, because I think a lot of people were expecting like a Saving Private Ryan film.
Right.
Yeah. That is not what Dunkirk is.
No, it's
not. Dunkirk is it actually is very no blood really at all. Like there's really no bloodshed or like gore in it at all.
Oh yeah.
It's more of telling the story and the way that he told the story from those three different perspectives at the same time is like it was great.
But his manipulation of time again, like Memento,
he does that so well. That's where I think he excels. He manipulates time in such a way where it really does. You have to. It's so cerebral. It's great. That's what I love about him as a director.
Yeah.
Even in I think like the Batman films too. Like he kind of does that a little bit as well.
He does. Yeah.
And it gives it. The reason I loved his version of Batman is it really. Oh God, he did it so well. Like because you can't just. With time-honored traditions like a Batman or like Star Wars, you can't just fuck around with that. Like, because we've had many arguments on Star Wars about this. It's like you can't just jump in and do your thing and kind of like not honor that stuff. And what Nolan did the best is like he made Batman, I think, better in one sense as far as live action goes. And he told the story in such a great way, and like the characters were great, but like he still put the Nolan spin on everything.
I think his greatest contribution to Batman was that he made Batman accessible to everybody.
Yes,
true. Yeah.
You didn't have to like know every little backstory about Batman or like his utility belt or whatever. You just got this really great, awesome Batman story.
Right.
That was it. Yeah. And like so it was completely approachable.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, that's to me that's his greatest contribution to the Batman.
I agree.
Because it's like I said, you didn't the way that he gave Batman to everybody.
Not to digress too much, but quick question: Michael Keaton or Christian Bale?
Okay, if I'm going live action, I'm going Christian Bale. Christian Bale is my live action Batman. He is not. Christian Bale, though, is not my favorite Batman. I would have to go with Kevin Conroy, the Batman animated series.
The voice actor
that did Batman.
No. It's funny because I kind of started off with Keaton,
and Michael Keaton as Batman was awesome. By the way, I'm not so like
right. But I'd have to agree with Robert. Christian Bale's my live action Batman.
Yeah.
And Adam West as Batman is also the campy campy Batman.
Yeah.
I love that too.
Yeah, it's a classic.
But I agree with Robert because we actually talked about this a couple days ago. But just like when we think about the voice of Batman, it's Kevin Conroy from the animated series.
Okay, I didn't really watch that, so.
I would. The thing is, like, it's animated. Watch it.
Okay.
Because it delves into like a lot of really like serious topics and just
especially the earlier one when it was still like kind of piggybacking off of like the Tim Burton Batman movies. So many great stories from it.
Because it started like 92, 93, I think was the animated series when it first started.
Okay.
Yeah.
And that spread into like Superman, Justice League, all those series. Yeah, Batman Beyond.
Nice.
And then later on in the games, the Batman Arkham Asylum games, it was all the Batman animated series voice actors that came
Kevin
back,
Conroy.
and Mark Hamill as Joker.
That's right.
Mark Hamill played Joker?
Yeah. The cartoons. Yeah.
Was it voiceover?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
And Mark Hamill is my Joker as well. Yeah. Voice actor, but animated ones.
Yeah.
Obviously, like I would say live action Joker. I think Heath Ledger killed it. Like it's.
We'll have to see about Joaquin, but
we'll see with when Joaquin.
I don't know, but the trailers are very promising.
I know.
Yeah. So I might have a new favorite Joker. Who knows?
Yeah. He looks. Yeah. Joaquin is crazy.
Like that physical transformation.
Yeah.
It's just like. Oh my god! It looks so promising.
Although Jack Nicholson too was pretty.
He did a great job.
I'm sorry. We grew up on that.
Yeah.
Like I said, the 1989 Tim Burton Batman film is great. It's
so
really good. You have to watch it. I happen to like the Nolan Batman with Christian Bale. Like it just.
I would agree too. But it's so good.
And the thing is the iteration of that because. Bale, what he was going, because everyone makes fun of his Batman voice. But I think he was going off of the Batman, the Dark Knight Returns style of Batman, where he did in the comics when you're reading it, it's like they, when the people who know him as Bruce Wayne, it's like, why are you changing your voice? Like it's so I can he's masking his voice. That was what Bale was going up because he read the Dark Knight Returns in preparation for that role because he read all the because he's a crazy person. He read all the comics up to that point.
Christian Bale's it lent a sense of reality to it too.
Right,
exactly.
Yeah, because you're not gonna use your regular voice.
Because he's not a superhero per se. He's just a dude.
Yeah,
right.
In a costume, and he's gonna definitely. Try to
he's kind of like I look at it as like if you're looking at comparing DC Marvel, Batman is kind of like Iron Man in a sense.
Yeah.
He's just obviously because DC is a little bit better, but it's like comic wise. I'm talking about comic, not movies.
Yeah.
But with DC, he's the Iron Man of the DC universe.
Right.
He's the rich guy with a lot of
Right.
tech. But he's not necessarily super powered.
He's not super powered. Yeah. He's a human.
Yeah. He's a human being.
Yeah.
He's immortal. Kind of coming back. I forgot that Nolan did Insomnia.
That's right.
Gosh.
Yes,
the remake of Insomnia. Yeah.
Yes, I forgot about that
That's
too.
Right, with Al Pacino, right?
Yeah, Al Pacino and Robin Williams.
Yeah.
It was a good remake.
Yeah, it was a good remake. Have you seen the original?
I haven't seen it in a very long time.
Yeah. It's pretty much the same movie, but I think Nolan did it better.
That might be something where I had to go and watch the original and the remake back to back.
Yeah,
because it's been years since I've seen both.
Yeah.
God, that's what I love about this podcast. It makes me do this stuff like this.
I know.
And of course, Eric's gonna write it down to remind himself that he has to do it too.
I'm adding something else to one of my lists.
I forgot that Nolan did that one. That was a great film.
Yeah, that was it's film.
My parents didn't like it, but I thought it was great.
All right.
Okay, so to add to my list, and
number 3?
So number 3, and this is actually the reason why we're doing this bonus episode, because I actually added to my top 5 list, by the way. So a couple weeks ago, for the very first time, I watched Eyes Wide Shut, which blew me away. And I actually think this is Stanley Kubrick's greatest film.
Another bold statement.
Yes, bold statement.
His last film, I think, was his greatest film.
Huh.
And the reason why I'm saying that, and because I love Stanley Kubrick, he's probably my second favorite director.
Who's your first?
I like Christopher Nolan. It's a sword fight between both of those guys.
I remember the last time I was here, I had asked you, who do you think is a modern day Kubrick, and you said Nolan. I thought that was a brilliant answer.
Yeah. And I would stand by that.
Yeah.
Just because Nolan isn't just pumping out films year by year. It's he takes his time and really crafts these universes and puts in a lot of time and symbology in his movies. Yeah. And that was what Kubrick did. He didn't just pump out movies. There was actually a lot of movies where it's like you see like the films that didn't get made by him. It's like it didn't work out, but like you could tell. And same thing with Nolan. It's just he has a lot of stuff that probably hasn't gotten made yet, or it's like we'll just shelve that for now, and maybe we'll get to it another time.
I think it's smart that he didn't make it until he did Dark Knight, because that was his do whatever the fuck you want card.
Yeah.
After that movie, it's like studios is like, just do whatever the fuck you want. Yeah. Here's the money.
Yeah, really. And that was 2001, The Space Odyssey for Kubrick. That was his make whatever the fuck you want movie.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Yeah,
because that movie made them a lot of money.
Yeah.
Eyes Wide Shut is because I watched this. I had stayed away from this film because I just thought it was just kind of a sex trash piece, and I maybe shouldn't have thought that way, but that's the way that the movie was explained to me. That's kind of what I thought it was going to be. I was like, I don't really want to watch that type of film. But then I watched a bunch of I had seen somebody had mentioned some stuff about the film that there's a lot that goes into that.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay, let me dive into this a little bit, because I trust their thought process on stuff. And so I looked into it, and I remember I was laying in bed watching the film, and as it starts off a little slow, but as the movie continues, I remember just sitting up. And it's like, holy shit.
Really?
And I couldn't stop. As soon as the movie was over, I was just my heart was pounding, because the movie was it was so good. And I was like, let me dive into some of what are people saying about the film? And I didn't go to sleep that day, by the way. I ended up staying up all night, watching videos about the movie,
really?
People talking about the different theories concerning characters, some of the conspiracy theories behind the movie. Fuck, man, it's so good.
I have to confess, I haven't seen that yet.
Yeah, and we had been talking about this a little bit earlier, but the main thing is what a lot of people know about it. It does talk. It talks about what exactly is cheating in a relationship. Especially in sort of a marriage, and it's a great storyline, and there's a lot to talk about concerning that. And I think anyone that's in a relationship or a marriage, this is actually a good movie to watch. It's not some sex. It's no. I'm serious. It's not some sex trash piece, but if you really the road that they go down is actually, I think it's a worthy road to go down, and it does. What exactly is cheating? Is it something is it someone that has these crazy fantasies that they
is there a moral statement to this movie? Or
I don't think Kubrick's making a moral statement per se. I think it's left up to the and here's why I think the film is great, because it's you're not just watching characters. What Kubrick does to you in this film is that you become the characters, and maybe you because I actually, in a lot of cases, you become. I think for guys, you become Tom Cruise's character, Dr. Harford. You're not just watching him; you become him in a sense, and you go down the road that he goes down. And maybe I don't know about for the female viewers of Eyes Wide Shut, maybe you become his wife Alice, and you're thinking from her perspective. maybe they become Dr. Harvard. I don't know, but I feel like as far as me as a guy watching this film, I became Dr. Harvard, and I don't think he was necessarily a good guy per se, but like I understood the direction that why he went down the road that he went as a character in this film, and as far as like a legality of like having an affair and like, cheating, quote unquote cheating, he never crossed that line. But he went down this like journey, and every part of the journey got increasingly darker and scarier. And then there's also like the talk about secret societies and all this stuff about, and there's all sorts of stuff that you can go down with this film. And we've been talking about like all this in our previous episode. We talked about like all the symbology in movies that like people are doing, and this movie has a ton of it. And you can go down a ton of different directions with the film, and I think it's great. And I could choose, if I was just doing like a top 5, I could probably put like all of Kubrick films in like the top 5.
Yeah, for sure.
But I think this is his best film. That I haven't had a movie capture me in a way like this film has in a long time.
Really?
It's and this is the reason why we're doing this episode, because of Eyes Wide Shut.
Yeah. Yeah, when you said,
it's so selfish of you.
I know.
I know. You're such a selfish dick, dude. Selfish dick. You. All about you.
It's always about me. That's right.
All right.
So number 4. God, I'm gonna have to go with and. I could say Last Crusade, but I'm going to have to go with Raiders of the Lost Ark, Indiana Jones, Raiders of the Lost Ark, just because it's, God, both are great. And yes, I know Indiana Jones is a pedophile in this film, but that doesn't take away from the greatness. I love adventure. I think, unfortunately, we never got a great Indiana Jones video game. But the Uncharted series definitely captures the adventure of Indiana, the spirit of Indiana Jones. But because I love that, like, seeking after like a treasure and solving mysteries, and at the end you realize that the treasure that you were going after and seeking and solving all these puzzles, and you realize that the treasure really was more of a curse than it wasn't necessarily a treasure. It was more of a curse in the end. It's kind of like
True.
Yeah.
True.
And I love, I don't know, something about that. Like, I love that, where it's, I like going on those type of adventures and realizing that, like, this thing that everyone is idolizing and wanting to go after, in the reality, it's like, it's not really all that good to go after.
Right.
And it's actually more dangerous and, could kill you in a sense and it's more, and it's not, because at the end they find the Ark, the Ark of the Covenant, but it was really more about the journey than actually when they get it. It's actually oh shit, we shouldn't have gone after it in the first place. But but that journey is so great.
High cost too.
Exactly. Yeah. There's a huge cost to it.
Yep.
And Indiana Jones realizes that there's a high cost. He has the reverence for it, and he's more about preserving the history, and like he just wants to go after, and like he wants to find out the information.
Yeah,
he cares about the history so much, but it's not about like necessarily getting the treasure, and he wants to preserve the history. Right. And I'm one of those guys. I love to preserve history. I think it's great.
Yeah.
I don't want to abuse the history, whereas in the case the Nazis did.
Right.
And also the Raiders of the Lost Ark also has one of my favorite all-time movie scenes, which was not meant to be in the movie. There was supposed to be a great fight scene, but because of dysentery or some sort of sickness that Harrison Ford had, he was like
dysentery.
There was
something. He got the flu or something.
Something. There's different
There's different stories out there.
Really?
But so the scene where like the guy is like whipping around his sword and like all this stuff, like, and the guy, and I'll tell a little bit more about the story, but essentially, he's whipping around his sword and then Indiana Jones just shoots him dead, and that was like, I think that's one of the greatest scenes of all time.
Classic,
That wasn't supposed to happen, and the guy that was the sword fighter, he had trained for like a month, several months on like for that scene to do the fight scene. And then the fact he was pissed,
long drawn out fight scene.
But because
he does come out on top eventually, but because Harrison Ford was sick and like he could barely stand, he's like, "Can I just shoot the guy?"
That's awesome.
And the guy, the sword fighter, he was pissed.
That's hilarious.
But I think that
I didn't know that. Wow.
Yeah, but I think that was the greatest scene, one of my favorite scenes in films. Yeah, it's great. It's a great meme too. One of those great gifts. I use it all the time.
Right. Like,
so good.
Like, I challenge you. Shut up.
All right. So that's my number 4.
Okay.
It's one of those films, like, anytime it's on, I gotta watch it.
Yeah. Any of the Indiana Jones.
Yeah.
Actually, I saw The Last Crusade today because I was hanging out with my sister at her apartment, and I was like flipping the channel, and then actually Raiders came on. Oh, no. Last Ark.
Last Crusade. Yeah, also a great one.
That's the one with Sean Connery we were talking about earlier, right?
Right, yeah.
I like that one.
we were there was sorry, so go a little bit on the Indiana Jones side, but like there was a one of the channels I watch on YouTube, the Cinemassacre channel. They do movie reviews, and they had a 2-part on the Indiana Jones series, and obviously one of the great debates is, what's better, Raiders of the Lost Ark or Last Crusade? But I think the more interesting question is Temple of Doom better than Crystal Skull?
Crystal Skull.
Maybe.
That's like I said, I don't have an answer for that.
Yeah.
Kind of based off our last episode, is Chinatown better than Godfather? It's tough.
It's hard, yeah.
But anyways, so I'll get to my number 5, just to move things along. My number 5, and this has probably changed in the 3 weeks since we've been talking about this stuff. It has changed probably about 10 times. And I don't really think there's a wrong answer for this, because my top 10 is kind of, the rankings are always changing. I'm going to go with Psycho, actually, by Hitchcock. We did a Hitchcock month in October on Nocturnal Transmissions for our movie reviews, and there's so many great Hitchcock films.
So many.
And we tried to hit on the B-sides, like some the ones that people don't know about, but Psycho you can't pass up. It's so good.
It's so good.
And I think the reason what made me like it even more, because I've seen the movie probably 6 or 7 times. I've seen it a lot. And I watched a documentary on Psycho and kind of the thinking behind it, and they talked to all the actors that were there and did all this stuff, and man, it's so good. Like how you're on the edge of your seat. It's black and white, purposely on black and white, and it's good, man. It's one of the because I'm not a huge horror guy. I think like I said, I don't like a lot of the slasher films, but I love thrillers. Right. And Psycho is kind of like the horror thriller, where there's a little bit of gore, kind of, but it's a mystery. You're trying to solve the mystery, and you're kind of lured in a direction where you're with the opening character, and all of a sudden that character is gone. And now it's like, crap, what do we do? Because you were so invested, right? And now that character's gone, and what are the ramifications of that? And the thought process behind it, and when the movie initially came out, they didn't allow the press to come out. Like they screened it in a like, as far as like when it came out, you had to watch it a certain way, and Hitchcock was very adamant on doing that, like where they wouldn't allow there was a certain way you had to watch it, because he did a lot of the pressing because he didn't want stuff released about the movie. He wanted the mystery to remain.
Yeah,
and that was very important because
it's like a spoiler alert.
Yeah, it was spoiler alert before spoiler alert.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, that wouldn't work today.
Right.
But it was so important back then because the misdirection that he led the audience in was so important to the story.
Right.
And it led to the mystery of it. And I think to me it makes it one of the great movies of all time,
especially considering when it was made. Right?
Yeah, it was like 1960, I think was when this was made. Yeah, I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
But I think it was 1960, and it was it was so good.
Yeah,
and like I said, I've seen it like 6 or 7 times. We did our Hitchcock month, and it's just like, I don't know. I think it's probably Hitchcock's greatest film. I love all of his films.
Yeah.
I've seen Rear Window. I've seen North by Northwest.
Oh, yeah.
I've seen The Man Who Knew Too Much. We've pretty much seen it all.
Rope. That's one of my favorites.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I don't think I saw that.
Rope. That's the one where he makes it look like just one take. It's like an hour and a half.
Oh, okay. Yeah. It was Birdman before Birdman.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. And he's so clever of hiding all the cuts.
Right.
Yeah, and it just happens in one space, in one apartment. But yeah, that's a great movie.
Yeah. Well, it's like we did we did The Man Who Knew Too Much, there was the original, which was from like 1934 that he remade in the 50s. He did the remake. Yeah, with Jimmy Stewart. Yeah.
Oh, with Jimmy. Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not a huge fan of remakes. A lot of cases, but
it's done by the original director. Then,
so I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
So we did a double movie review of like The Man Who Knew Too Much and like which one was better.
We compared the two.
Yeah.
Nice.
But yeah, I think Psycho is his best film, and it's in my top 5.
Very cool. Very cool.
So that's my top 5. That's personal top 5. It changes. Honorary mentions are Die Hard with a Vengeance. That would probably be like number 6. I changed that out a few times, but
yeah, that's the sixth man.
Yeah, he's my Die Hard with a Vengeance is my 6th man.
Nice. So your top 5, just to recap, is Rob's top 5: Casablanca, number 1. It's a fixed number 1.
Fixed number.
Yeah, that's a fixed number 1. That's not going to change for a little while.
Okay, and then 2 to 5 is no particular order.
Yeah.
Memento, Eyes Wide Shut, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and Psycho, with the honorable mention going to Die Hard with a Vengeance.
Absolutely. And Die Hard with a Vengeance, because Die Hard is, it's, the first 2 are more like serious action films, like you're kind of like trying to solve a mystery, but there's also a lot of ass kicking and gun shooting, and it's great. Die Hard with a Vengeance is like the in-between, where it's like it has that element, but then there's also the over-the-top action, which the typical like 80s 90s action films before like Live Free or Die Hard, and the what was it what was the last one? Was it Live Free or Die Hard? Was that
that was the one, that was the one after Vengeance.
So it's Live Free or Die Hard, and then
I think the one I think it was Good Day to Die Hard.
Yeah, Good Day to Die Hard, which is like crazy over the top action, but it's still great.
Helicopter's like firing at him. He's like falling from like a 6-story.
He shoots a car at a helicopter.
No, that was in Live Free.
That was Live Free or Die Hard. But it's like stuff like that where it's just over the top crazy action that's still fucking awesome. Yeah.
You killed the helicopter. You killed the helicopter with a car.
Pure fun.
I was out of bullets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. But I like Die Hard with a Vengeance because it's that in between.
Yeah, he likes it more than the first Die Hard.
Yeah, I would agree with that. It's my favorite Die Hard film.
The first Die Hard is arguably one of the better Christmas movies as well.
Exactly. Well, that was our non-traditional Christmas film.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, off-brand Christmas movies.
Nice.
Although technically, Eyes Wide Shut could be included on that list because that is a Christmas film too.
Oh, is it really?
Yeah.
It's set within Christmas time.
Yeah. The entire film it's set during Christmas time.
But then you can also then say Iron Man 3 is a Christmas movie.
It is.
Because it's set within Christmas.
That's true.
Christmas time.
Off-brand Christmas.
That's true.
Because I'm not a huge fan of Christmas films, so for December we did off-brand Christmas films.
Oh, okay.
Because I was like, I don't want to watch I mean, I might like the original Miracle on 34th Street. Okay, I might watch that.
Yeah.
I've seen Christmas Story like a bunch of times.
Yeah.
Maybe Christmas Vacation, but after that, I was like, fuck those films.
Christmas Vacations. I love that movie.
Yeah.
I can watch it. It's like Godfather for me. I can watch it.
Chevy Chase.
I probably watch it 28 times.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Eric.
Yeah.
That's for last.
Can we take a break real quick?
Yeah, do whatever you gotta do.
Okay, I'm gonna.
Hit the head. Yeah, that's fine.
Do what you gotta
Do we have to pause that? Or?
No. Well, Andy and I will just discuss between us about shit.
Hey, we'll do a soft shoe.
Cool. Sorry.
No, that's fine.
No worries.
Do we have to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I got my Coors here, so I'll if people just want to watch me drink, that's fine.
There you go. I might grab one too.
All right, I'll ask you this, Andy. So we've been doing movie reviews for a while on Nocturnal Transmissions. Do you have like one movie that like really, maybe that one movie that you were surprised that you really liked a lot, and one movie that you were surprised that you actually didn't like as much as maybe a movie you've seen before, but you didn't like it a second or third or however many go arounds again?
That's a really good question. But I don't know. My memory's like kind of crap, so I can't remember like all the movies that we watched. I gave recently a pretty poor review of a movie.
Are you talking about American Beauty?
Maybe.
I know because I know personally. I remember when I first watched American Beauty that I really liked it.
Right.
And then when we reviewed it, kind of looking at more of a critical eye, I was like, man, I really didn't like this movie at all.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I was the same way. But yeah. So I guess American Beauty.
American Beauty would be the one that you didn't care for that much. Was there anyone that like you?
The surprising one. Probably North by Northwest.
That was the surprising one to you.
One to me.
That you.
Yeah, that I really like. That I actually found myself like, wow, this is a really good movie. And like being pretty impressed by it as well.
Okay. We were talking about like some of our while you were bathrooming and getting a beer, because we've been doing a lot of movie reviews in the past year and a half or so, and some of the movies we've seen before, and we were wondering like what was a movie that we had maybe liked in the past, but reviewing it again, we didn't like it quite as much. And ones that like we were kind of surprised that we liked more than we really thought. Yeah. And I think we both agree that we actually liked American Beauty a lot less. Because I remember liking that. I remember liking that movie a lot when I first watched it.
Yeah, and it doesn't have anything to do because with Kevin Spacey and his recent revelations.
This is no like political like statement on like Kevin Spacey or anything like. Because I actually love Kevin Spacey as an actor. I think he's great.
Oh, he's one of the greatest of all time. Yeah.
I don't really give a shit about his personal life.
That's
but like the movie itself was very like. I didn't like it as much.
Interesting, because I haven't seen it in years. But last time I saw it, I loved it.
Like
Chris Cooper was amazing.
Chris Cooper.
And like you said, it's not like there's nothing necessarily like bad about the movie. Like cinematography wise, I thought there's nothing like bad in that sense. Like, it's a well made movie. Yeah, but the story itself was kind of it's just like it didn't. I don't think it hit me in a certain way as it did like when I first watched it. And what it's like it felt very like the story itself felt very blasé. It felt very dark, but not in a good way. We were talking about like in the previous episode we were talking about The Godfather. And like there is a darkness to it. But like it's not a good like it's not the same thing. It's very it's like dark, but like bleak. Not. Yeah.
But that could, that's probably because of when it was made. Back in like the mid to late 90s. Yeah. And there's like this kind of like nihilism that permeated a lot of the movies that were made back then.
I think that's true. Just pop culture in general.
Yeah, pop culture in general. It was
like post Kurt Cobain.
Yeah.
there was a sense of that, very nihilistic.
Yeah, and even like the character, like he like one of the characters, he videotaped everything, and one of these like want to see the most beautiful thing in the world,
the plastic bag.
The plastic bag. It's like, and I'm watching it again now. It's like,
this is a stupid scene.
I remember that scene. I know.
Watching now as as an adult, and it's like, man, this guy's an idiot. He sounds like one of those freaking like first year liberal arts, who just discovered Nietzsche, kind of guys.
Yeah, that's probably what it. Because I think that's the last time I saw it was probably high school or right after high school. And I remember seeing it with a girl who was like that. She was very liberal artsy, and I remember that scene came and she was like, I think she teared up because it was so beautiful to her. And I was like, I was just trying to impress her. Yeah, that's a great scene. That's a beautiful scene. Yeah, go plastic bag.
What we don't do for women.
Shit, I can make that for you.
Yeah, even what is it? Family Guy makes fun of it in that one scene.
Oh, did they?
Yeah, there's like I think it's Stewie's like first like bike ride or whatever, and he's like videotaping, and all of a sudden Peter gets distracted, and it's like, oh, this trash bag. It's like painting with me. It's like this benevolent force telling me that everything's gonna be okay in the world, and all of a sudden it like pans up into heaven, and God's like, it's just trash blowing in the wind.
That's hilarious. I can imagine seeing that now and thinking that is fucking retarded.
Yes.
Sorry, I'm not supposed to say the R word, but
it's cool.
Yeah,
it's like rated R. You get one.
Yeah, there you go. Oh man. I kind of want to watch that. That's Sam Mendes, right?
Yeah, Sam Mendes.
Yeah. He's been kind of quiet.
Yeah. The last thing he did was the Bond movies.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
He did Bond. And there's a new one coming out, right? It's going to be Daniel Craig's last one, I think.
Really? I thought Spectre was supposed to be his last one.
I thought they're making one. I don't know. Maybe.
Well, I mean, because like the way Daniel Craig talks about it, it's like, man, I'm so done with this character.
Yeah.
He wants nothing to do with James Bond.
Yeah. Is it true that Idris Elba is going to be the next James Bond?
I don't think so. I know the people have been like talking about it and like putting it on like
lots of talks about it, but yeah,
but not.
He would have been.
Seriously.
I really like Idris Elba.
I'm excited. There's more Mission Impossible films coming out though.
Really?
Are there? With Tom Cruise?
There's like 3 more coming out
with Tom Cruise.
Yeah,
that guy is a beast. Badass.
I love that series. Outside of Mission Impossible 2, which is a garbage film, the rest of them are awesome.
Yeah, dude, he's like 52 or something.
Yeah, like early to mid.
He's a madman. As far as an actor, he's a madman.
All his own stunts,
and as far as a human being, too,
he's a madman.
Yeah.
Do you have any films like that you were like surprised like when you like rewatched them?
You watch them as an adult, and it's like
it wasn't that good.
Yeah.
Oh God, I feel like American Beauty might be that. But let's see. That's a very good question. That I watched and realized it wasn't that good. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. Maybe Casino. I mean, I gotta say I still love that movie, but I remember I saw it recently and think, it didn't hit me like how it hit me when I was younger.
Initially?
Yeah. That's one thing that comes to mind. I can't think of anything else.
See that because I actually had the same experience where I was watching it recently, and as great and as much as I love Casino, I was like watching it again recently. It's like, this movie isn't that great.
Yeah. Because
I mean,
you
it's good.
Compare it to Goodfellas.
Yeah,
and it's like you watch Goodfellas, it gets better and better each time you watch it.
Yeah.
Goodfellas is fucking awesome.
It's amazing.
Yeah. Casino's like, okay,
yeah.
It's just the things just like don't hit you like the same way anymore, or as deeply as it once had.
Yeah. I remember the last time I saw it, I was like, it wasn't. I thought it was better than that.
Yeah.
I remember thinking that. Yeah. What else is there? That's the one that comes to mind the most. Yeah. Maybe. I can't think of anything else right now.
All right. Well,
so Casino for you.
American Beauty.
American Beauty for us.
How about you?
I would say American Beauty is like the That's one that I can definitely say that like when I rewatched it, I didn't like it as much. I guess like another one that's like more recent because I did, because after thinking about it a lot, and maybe like when I initially watched it, I probably didn't like it either. I would say The Last Jedi. Because I was like, it's okay.
Yeah.
But then
one I had to get him over on.
But then
because I was initially too. I was just like, I came out after watching it the first time. I came out of it and I was like, I was supposed to like this, right?
That was my thinking.
I was supposed to like this, right? And then I went to go watch it again, and it just cemented like I hate this movie. Like we had multiple times where I was just like going off on this, just
the anger.
I hate the anger. Yeah. It's like I personally find The Last Jedi offensive to me. It is personally offensive to me.
Wow.
Maybe they'll backtrack a little bit and it'll be better in episode 9, but I can't say that I'm excited.
Yeah.
I mean, I am no longer hopeful. I'll watch it, but it's like if it'll be impressive if it moves the needle in me even a slow.
Wow.
Yeah.
I remember last time you said you had like a visceral reaction to it. Like
it's still visceral. let me tell you. Yeah. I'll slightly bring it up and he goes off on a rant.
Really? Yeah, because when it was still in theaters or whatever, like you just like, it wasn't that bad. I'm just like, are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? How can you say that about Last Jedi? And I'll just go off.
See, we know each other's buttons to push. Like he'll tell me that like beans and chili, it's not that big of a deal. And I'll tell him like he's a fucking idiot because beans do not belong in chili.
Robert is one that believes that beans do not belong in chili. And see,
they don't.
Isn't it made from beans?
No, fuck. That is not what chili is. Chili,
the core of
chili is a beef-based.
The visceral reaction is coming out.
God,
you don't know what you started doing.
Oh shit!
Chili is a beef-based dish. It is beef, tomato, onions, and
so it's kind of like
chili peppers.
It's like a bolognese sauce.
It's more of that, but it doesn't. Beans don't belong in that shit.
Isn't it the beans that give it the...
No!
My ears are hurting right
No!
now.
They do not belong there.
That's what makes it thick,
If you look at the... No, that's not what makes it thick.
That's what makes a spoon stand up.
No!
It's the beans.
If you look at the National Council of Chili...
There's a National Council
Yes, there
of
is. There is a Council of Chili.
Of course there's a National Council of Chili.
Of course
there is.
Beans do not belong in chili. It is because then it becomes
the base of
no,
chili.
because it becomes something completely different.
What does it become?
It becomes more of a stew at that point.
But isn't a chili a stew?
No.
What is it then?
It's its own. It's like its own thing. Right. I don't know. Like
it's like the question: is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, interesting.
It's like no, it's an experience
because it's one piece of bread, not two.
Yeah.
What about open face?
Technically, you could say it's an open face sandwich, but it's not. It's its own thing.
It's an experience. A hot dog is an experience.
Okay. Because if you really think about it, the hot dog is its own thing because there's so many different ways that you can prepare it. There's the Chicago dog. There's the chili cheese coney. There's the.
Oh, I'm getting so hungry right now.
Yeah.
That doesn't have beans.
Anyways, this has gone. That's a whole nother podcast. Let's get back to the top 5.
All right, Eric, your top 5.
Don't get me like pissed off about fucking chili and beans. Fuck.
Yeah,
beans sound really good right now.
It kills them when I said because I don't like beans in my chili, but I won't fault anyone that does.
You can go to hell.
And that's the reaction.
I feel like I've only had beans in my chili.
You go straight to hell, Andy. And I'm sorry that's the only way you've experienced
Hormel chili,
quote unquote chili.
Isn't Hormel chili? Isn't that beans?
No, you can get it without beans the real way.
So there's a chili without beans.
Yes,
it says chili without beans.
Well, they say chili
implies that chili should be with beans, but there's a without beans option.
But that's the I'm sorry, but that's
you have to exercise the option.
I'm sorry, that is propaganda, by the way. Because
that's a position I took. I was like, hey, if you want to put beans in
default
chili, whatever.
Default chili has
propaganda,
beans.
by the way.
You got to exercise option without
I'm
beans.
more libertarian about it. It's like, you want beans in chili?
That's the socialist propaganda that puts chili and beans in your chili.
I'm kidding. I'm just messing. I have no position on chili and beans.
You can go to hell, Andy.
Although I prefer mine with beans.
Oh,
for the record.
You can go to hell too.
Hey, if they're serving chili with beans, I'm going to hell.
God, the hell is it? I didn't know we were communists overnight. By the way, Jesus Christ. Where do we get to a better?
All right, let's get at it.
Let's get back to the top five.
Rob spiraling.
Let's get to the ultimate top five. Eric's top five films.
This I had a hard time with this. Very hard time. I didn't know how to approach it because I don't have a set top five. It could change day by day.
Me too.
I initially started making lists because I like to make lists, obviously. Mm-hmm. I started with genres, top 5 comedies, top 5 action, top 5 drama, top 5 foreign.
I think that's a little bit of an easier endeavor. By the way.
It was too easy. But then I realized if I break my life down into decades, I think every decade I would have a different top 5, completely different top 5. So that's how I approach it. So I made 4 different top 5 lists. Okay. I do have one fixed number 1, which I'll end with.
Okay.
But I have ages 0 through 10, 11 through 20, 21 to 30, and 31 to the present. And completely different top 5s. And I will take the top 1 from each list, which will make up the 4. And then I have a fixed top 1.
Okay. Like I have a fixed top 1.
Yeah, Casablanca. Okay, I have my Casablanca.
Okay.
Which I think is better than Casablanca.
We'll see.
Oh, yeah.
That might be fighting words. That might be fighting words.
That's my beans to your chili.
Oh, God.
Oh, thank God you're here. It's so much fun.
If it's something like Man with the Iron Fist, then we're going to have fighting words.
We might. Warm up that kettle. Okay.
All right,
ages 0 through 10. My top 5 working backwards. Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Oh, good comedy.
Good
one. I think those formative years were defined by Chevy Chase and John Hughes and that 80s comedy. Steve Martin.
Fuck yeah, man.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. The best. Number 4, National Lampoon's Vacation. Chevy Chase.
That's a great one.
So good. So good. I can watch that over and over and over again.
I constantly watch it.
It still stands up. It still stands up.
Oh, yeah. So classic. Chevy Chase is a freaking genius. Another Chevy Chase is number 3. For that is Spies Like Us. Remember that?
Yes. I haven't seen it in a long time, but yeah.
I just watched it a few months ago again. And I thought it would be one of those movies. Oh, it's not as good as it when I was younger.
Still holds up.
Still holds up.
Number 2, Top Gun.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. But the one that's going to go on my top 5 all-time list is Three Amigos.
Great one.
So good, right? God, the story, the characters, Steve Martin, Chevy Chase, and Martin Short.
Oh, great one.
So good.
All SNL alums.
Yes, that's true. Yeah. So that's Three Amigos is number 5, let's say. Okay. No particular order. Ages 11 through 20. Reservoir Dogs is number 5 at that time. But then with an honorable mention because when you mentioned Insomnia, it made me think of another European movie that was remade immediately after it was released in America, The Vanishing. Have you guys seen that?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
The original is incredible.
The premise of the movie sounded interesting.
Yeah. It's such a nail-biting.
What was the original one made?
It was
is it European?
It was European. I forget. It was Dutch. I think it was a Netherlands movie. Yeah, but it's so good. If you can find a copy of that, the remake is okay. I think Kiefer Sutherland was in it, but the original is incredible. Number 4, Goodfellas.
Oh yeah,
yeah, so good.
So good.
Yeah,
still holds up.
Yeah. And this is 11 to 20 was when I was starting to discover independent movies and foreign movies. And that's when Tarantino came out. Usual Suspects came out. Number 3 was Yojimbo by Akira Kurosawa. Have you seen that?
Oh yeah, that's
so good. I remember seeing that.
He has a lot of good films that I haven't really like dived into all of his stuff yet. But
And
he has so
influential. Well, one of the movies was George Lucas's inspiration for Star Wars. The story was.
Which one?
One of
it was probably like the was it like the Seven Samurai or something like
Seven Samurai inspired Magnificent Seven.
Right.
Sergio Leone. Was it Ron?
No, something Fortress maybe.
Oh, Hidden Fortress.
Yeah, Hidden Fortress.
That inspired Star Wars?
Yeah.
It was one of the movies that inspired it.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes sense.
Story, like narrative structure wise.
Oh. Yeah, Kurosawa was amazing.
He's a great director.
He's one of probably the most influential.
Yeah.
Yeah, one of the most influential. I remember hearing stories, and I used to read about him and stuff, and there's an example of how meticulous he was. There was a scene, one example is like they were shooting a scene where the action takes place outside a butcher shop. And the butcher shop is just the backdrop. But he wanted to make sure, and it was like a 4-day shoot or something. Every single day, there had to be fresh meat hanging in that butcher shop. Just because it just changes the tone of everything. The set director's like, who cares? Let's just put fake meat up. Nope. Fresh meat. Has to be fresh meat. And then one scene he was shooting was in a schoolhouse, and he wanted every single desk inside the drawers to have fresh paper and sharpened pencils. They were never going to be open.
Right.
But he said, you have to have that sort of detail to capture the shot.
Wow.
I was like, whoa, that's
Note to Andy, we're going to do a Kurosawa month.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, for sure we are. Yes, for sure we are.
Yes. Number 2, Pulp Fiction, because I remember seeing that in the theater when I was, 14?
Yeah.
I was like, holy shit, I've never seen a movie like this.
It's a good film.
So good.
Was it 96 when that came out?
94, I think.
94, yeah.
94?
Yeah,
Okay.
94. And I was 14 at the time, and I was like, holy crap, this is insane.
I was like 8.
It's like 9 or 10.
And then the one that's going on my list, though, is Heat.
That's a good one.
God.
Was it like De Niro and Al Pacino in that one?
Yeah, Al Pacino.
It's a good one.
Val Kilmer, Tom Sizemore. Oh my gosh, Ashley Judd. Yeah.
A lot of great
Charlize
lines.
Theron. Yeah.
Yeah, a lot of good lines in that movie.
So good.
Yeah.
I think my favorite one was from Pacino when he's like, you can fuck my wife, but you can't watch my TV.
That's one I'm gonna have to revisit because I haven't seen that one in a long time.
So good. Funny thing is, Michael Mann, that was a remake of his own movie. Did you know that? He made a movie called L.A. Takedown in the mid 80s, and it was right after he did Miami Vice.
Oh,
and it's pretty much the same movie, but it's such a piece of shit. It's hilarious how
bad
shitty it is. Like they have the same diner scene with De Niro and Al Pacino, same characters, same almost word for word dialogue, but it's so shitty. It's almost hilarious. It's almost like it almost seems like a Family Guy remake of Heat, but it's the original movie that he just redid with more money.
Right.
You know.
I was thinking like
what was it called again?
L.A. Takedown.
L.A. Takedown.
I think.
I was thinking
there's a copy on YouTube.
I was thinking of like It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia, where they made like the new versions of Lethal Weapon, but like in a worse version.
Oh yeah.
It made it worse. Yeah.
We're like the two. Like,
it was so funny. When did he come out? By the way, I don't remember.
Michael Mann?
No, the Heat. When did that come out?
Heat was
like 95, 96?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
Okay.
It was after Pulp Fiction, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, mid 90s. So good.
Yeah, God. Yeah, I can't remember the year, but man, that movie is awesome.
That diner scene, like where they're like talking to each other.
Oh yeah.
Oh, jeez.
That is the
chills.
Powerful.
I chills all the time. I watched
watch that. Look up.
We're also gonna have to rewatch that film.
Yeah. Dude, I'm gonna find the original.
The original. Watch that scene. At least that scene is on YouTube. It's hilarious.
Oh man.
But yeah, Heat is amazing. Ages 21 to 30. I'm going to start with number 5. Afterlife is a This is when I was in my foreign movie phase.
Right.
Like kind of highbrow. Yeah. And I thought I was like, oh yeah, I'm a foreign movie guy. But at the time, there's a movie called Afterlife. Have you guys seen that?
No.
By a Japanese director named Hirokazu Koreeda. He just directed the movie called Shoplifters that came out last year or this year, and it won Cannes Best Picture. It's supposed to be like an amazing film, but Afterlife is very cool because it's about the afterlife, what happens when you die, and the story is basically about this office that handles people who die. But it looks like a regular office, suit and tie, and what they do is they allow people who go into the afterlife to take one memory with them, and they videotape that memory, and that person who passes on gets to take that with them. And how the director filmed this was he would interview actual real people, like elderly couples and young people, whatever, all different people in the spectrum, and ask them what their number one memory that they would take with them is, and then he would film it. Like he would have actors act it out, and it works so well.
It sounds like a semi-similar premise to what was the movie with it was with Jim Carrey and we watched with Eternal Sunshine.
Oh yeah,
it's kind of like it's a semi-similar concept to that.
I think Eternal probably borrowed a lot of elements from that movie.
Yeah.
I mean, just the way you're describing, like talking about
that's
memories.
The first movie I think of, like when you're talking about that film.
Yeah, I was like, I was thinking to myself, why does that sound familiar? And because like in Eternal Sunshine, they talk about the memories, and that's how they used like map your memories and like ancillary like connections to that memory, so they can go and erase them. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah, I think they probably borrowed a lot of it. Yeah,
I could see that.
Yeah. Number 4 is a movie. Have you seen? It's an old French movie called Pickpocket.
Nope.
Sounds.
This is probably gonna be like, nope, I haven't seen any of them.
It's by this director Robert Bresson. He was kind of part of the French New Wave, but a little bit outside of it. He did his own thing, and the cinematography is incredible. It's just about a pickpocket on the Paris metro. It's really good. It's a black and white movie. Number 3, Stranger Than Paradise.
That sounds familiar.
Yeah, Jim Jarmusch is one of my favorite directors. Super indie guy, kind of punk rock, New Yorker. It was his second film. Super kind of pretentious movie. I was going through that phase.
Hey, that's fine.
Yeah,
right. We all go through that phase where we love the smell of our own farts.
Exactly. I still do.
Everyone loves their own brand.
I'm still in that phase.
Everyone loves their own brand.
Yep. Number 2, another French movie called 400 Blows by Francois Truffaut. Yeah, back in the French New Wave. But then number 1 that I'm going to put on my top 5 is Seven Samurai. We talked about that.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That's a great movie.
So good. Oh my God.
I think I know 2 of those films on that 21 through 30 list.
Have you guys seen the remake of Magnificent Seven?
Oh yeah, I'd say
there's a Korean guy in that. Villains in that.
The remake was actually a very decent remake.
Was it really?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I really liked it.
Oh, because I love the original and I'm one of those guys, like I tend to hate remakes.
Yeah.
I really hate remakes.
Yeah.
But there's the occasional few that they actually do the remakes right. Magnificent Seven was definitely one of those. The Producers was another one where they did the remake pretty well.
Yeah.
And like I said, some people do it right. And but man, Seven Samurai, fuck man, that was such a good film.
So good. Oh my God. Even the action scenes in that, which
I have to go back. I'm gonna have to go back. Like we're gonna do a Kurosawa month.
Yeah.
And we'll have you on for that.
Oh
for
yeah.
sure, because I know you probably love Kurosawa.
I love Kurosawa. Yeah.
And I've seen Seven Samurai. I've seen like some of his a couple of his other ones, but I haven't seen all of his stuff. And
I haven't seen all of it either. He has so much.
Maybe we'll go to his B-sides too.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll dive into some of his other stuff.
Totally. Let's do it. I'm so down. I just thought of an honorable mention for that period, just because you said about remakes. Old Boy. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
The Korean movie. Yeah. Have you seen that, bro?
Mm-mm.
Oh, you would love that movie.
Yeah, the remake was awful.
Remake was terrible.
The American version. American version was so bad.
There's no way it could stand up to the original. So I refuse to watch it.
So bad.
Speaking of foreign films, since we're kind of going down that topic, did you ever watch any of the Ip Man films?
Yeah, with Donnie Yen.
Hitman.
Yeah.
That first one. I love that scene where he takes on those 10 guys.
Yeah,
Hitman was like, I love that series. By the way, I think it's to me, it's one of the great action. It's like the great action series.
Yeah,
for an action series, like it's so great.
Yeah, and it's kind of under the radar because it kind of missed that boat. Remember when Hong Kong action movies were so hot, like post Jackie Chan, and then sort of the Jet Li era, and then it kind of died out. But then that's when Ip Man came out, and like it's an incredible
it's a sleeper.
Not only is it a good action film, but the story is really good.
Yeah, because I mean the whole history with Bruce Lee.
I just it was so good.
Yeah. Oh my god, I just realized I totally forgot. Another favorite. Are you guys big Wong Kar-wai fans?
I don't know anything about him.
Oh really? Okay.
Yeah.
I've heard the name, but I'm pretty sure I've seen like some of his stuff. But
I'm sure you have. Yeah. We should do a Wong Kar-wai one time.
I will admit that I'm a semi new cinephile.
Okay.
So my knowledge, like on the foreign side of it, things like I don't really know everything that's going on.
Oh yeah.
And so, like I said, but I'm open.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not like fuck foreign films, fuck the French, fuck all that stuff.
No, fuck reading subtitles.
Yeah, exactly. Like trust me, I watch anime, so like I'm not anti subtitles or anything like that. And actually,
I watch every movie with subtitles.
I've gone that route down now too.
I have to. Yeah.
And it makes things like it's like, oh, that's what they're saying. I think like Lock, Stock, and Two Smoking Barrels is like requires subtitles.
Speaking of which, Guy Ritchie is awesome.
He's such an underrated director.
Yeah.
He's great,
and he's so smart. I heard him on Joe Rogan a couple years back. And he's such an interesting guy. He's a black belt in jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
He's been doing it for 20 years.
Yeah.
Before it was cool.
Cool. Yeah.
And he's so intelligent.
We reached cult status.
Yeah, exactly.
Now it's a cult.
Now it's a cult. Yeah.
James is in it. You're in it. Your whole family.
Matt's in it.
You've manipulated your family.
I mean, we were talking before, but now my cousin's youngest boy, he's in it.
Yeah. My brother-in-law's in it. His family, he got his daughter in it.
Eventually, I'm probably going to be in it at some point.
Yeah, we'll all be in
it. Dude, just come out to Dancing Jason's place, and we'll just roll around.
There you go.
I'll get into something else just because I'm so
anti-establishment.
Yeah.
So contrary.
I'm going to become I'm a contrarian. I'm going to become a fencer.
Get into kendo, dude.
I used to do kendo.
Really? I've been wanting to do that. I've been trying to think.
Kendo's awesome
because I've been like debating like, do I want to do kendo or do I want to do like fencing, which is more the French style.
Yeah.
And like I've been looking to classes because I kind of want to like get into that, and when I have more of a established schedule, like I really like want to dive into like one of those.
You should. I mean, I can't speak for Western fencing. I've never done it, but kendo is amazing. It's incredible.
Yeah.
And
honestly, if I could do both, I would dive into both.
Nice.
Because the art of like sword fighting, I love it.
Yeah.
I love swords.
Yeah.
I think it's cool, and like learning the technique behind it.
Absolutely.
I want to get into it.
The Japanese Cultural Institute in San Fernando, the city of San Fernando. Because they have a few locations. I used to go to the one in Gardena, and it's so affordable. It's $65 a year. You just have to pay for like a membership.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, and then there's like I think a $10 a month utility fee because you got to pay for they're renting a space.
Yeah,
and that's it. You have to get your own equipment, but besides that, that's all you have to pay.
Shit,
and the people who teach it they're not trying to make money. They just want to spread the art.
That's awesome.
So yeah. It's legit.
Seems like a fair deal.
Yeah.
Maybe I want to get into both because I think like both because they do different things, but like I don't know. I love swords. I love weapons.
Yeah.
And learning how to use them.
Absolutely.
I love it. So I've really been like that's kind of like where my mind is going. So because. Not that like I'm weak. I'm not a weak guy. Like I've done like Taekwondo. I've done some of like other martial arts, but I really kind of like want to go into like the mental focus of what it takes to like wield the sword and like learn the techniques.
That's what I remember most about kendo: the mental focus and the clarity and it. I mean, it's not practical. You're not going to be out there.
You're not going to carry
it's not
a
a
sword
self-defense. Yeah, you're not doing it for self-defense.
No.
But the mental and spiritual growth you come at.
That's what I want out of it.
I mean, you get the same from jiu-jitsu, I got to say. Jiu-jitsu has all of that and the self-defense. But there's something different about kendo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because I know how to defend myself if like something happens. Cause I've done other physical martial arts,
right.
like where, if really, push comes to shove, like I can, defend myself.
Yeah.
But I think just more of like the physical, like, the mental, like, the learning the art of like sword fighting and like kind of the meditation that comes behind that, like just kind of and focus myself into it. Like that's something I want to.
And it's so steeped in tradition and kind of rules, which keeps your focus through the whole time you step on the mat. Even things like the men is the mask you put on. The way you tie the back, there's a specific way the loop has to come in, the length of it, and the excess string, how much there can be. And if it's not precise, you have to do it over again.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I love that part of it.
The pleats in, they call it, it's not a skirt, but the pleats in, I forgot what you call it, but the pleats have to be a certain fold, a certain distance from each other, and if that's off, then you can't practice.
Yeah,
every little thing is
it's very very
very precise,
and I like that. I like that part of it.
Yeah.
And maybe it's the military side of me, like where everything has to be very focused.
Yeah,
and if it's not in like sync, start over.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Sorry,
we're talking about movies.
A little bit of diversion. So, 31 to present.
Big tangent. Big tangents.
All right, so
that's what we do on the Circle of Jerks podcast. It's tangents upon tangents.
I love it.
And we've been drinking, so that happens. So,
31 to present is starting with No Country for Old Men.
Oh, good one.
Oh, I love that movie. Mm-hmm.
I was gonna now that you mentioned that, that's another movie that when I initially watched it, I didn't like it, but watching it again, it's like, fuck, that's a good movie.
Yeah,
samesies.
So good. Yeah, and the character development. That I fluctuated between that and There Will Be Blood.
Oh, good one.
I think it came out in the same year, and then I couldn't decide which one I like more. Because Daniel Day-Lewis in There Will Be Blood is insane.
Daniel Day-Lewis is a great actor, by the way.
Oh yeah. He's
a lunatic.
Lincoln was because we watched Lincoln for we were doing our
November
our Veterans Day month, and we watched a bunch of we watched Lincoln, which is not necessarily a war movie, like because we did a bunch of war movies, but like it's surrounded the Civil War, and we wanted to take a Glory was the one we were thinking of.
Glory, I love Glory. Glory is my favorite.
So good.
Civil War movie. Glory is right there.
Yeah. But then we was like, well, why don't we do something different when we went to Lincoln for Civil War? Because we did we did different wars.
Yeah, we did we did Revolutionary. We did with the Patriot. We did Saving Private Ryan for World War II.
Oh, nice.
We did Lincoln, and then we did We Were Soldiers. So we did two Mel Gibson movies.
I love Mel Gibson.
Yeah, he's great.
He's great.
Did you watch Apocalypto, by the way?
Which one?
Apocalypto.
No.
Watch Apocalypto.
Watch it.
Apocalypto. Yeah. What is that?
That's a
it's a Mel Gibson directed movie. It's all done within an Indian language.
Is that pre or post Meltdown?
Pre. Yeah. It's about like this,
Apocalypto.
Yeah. It's about this
pre-colonized South America.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's really good. Really good. Huh. That's a movie I've appreciated
not to sell
more.
It too much, but it's really good.
It's a movie I've appreciated more than I watch it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay, I'll check it out. Apocalypto.
Yeah.
Nice.
Just like that.
That's become a film where when I see it on TV, it's like I gotta watch it.
Yeah.
It's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, because it's so layered. It's like,
when did it come out? Like Early 2000s?
Mid
2000s?
Mid 2000s, yeah.
Okay. Like 05 maybe.
So it was right around, like, I don't know if it was after or just before Passion of the Christ.
Oh.
I think, no, it was definitely after Passion.
Was it after Passion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really good.
Okay. Cool. And it's kind of about what, the Incans or the Mayans or
Aztecs.
Aztecs. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it wasn't like fully the Aztecs. The Aztecs were kind of like the bad guys, I think,
Yeah,
in the
they're
film.
like the big, powerful.
But it was like it was mainly centered around this one, Southern American tribe, and they were oppressed by the Aztecs.
Yeah, I mean, they're off in the jungle doing their own thing, living their lives, and all of a sudden, like, these Incan raiders come to take them away for like sacrifice or slavery or whatnot.
Yeah, but it shatters the idea of this like utopian idea of like Native Americans. Yeah, and that was what Mel Gibson was trying to do. It was shattering the idea that like they were living in utopia
there,
and
like, loving each other.
Yeah, and
it was like the Europeans that messed everything up.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
It was already messed up, and then the Europeans came.
Yeah, they just happened to come.
Yeah.
Ah, interesting. I'll check it out.
Mm-hmm.
Oh.
It's a really, really good film. It's great.
Film.
Yeah.
Nice.
All
right. 31 to present.
Yeah. Divergence upon divergence.
Yeah. So, yeah, this time period up until now, like, I thought like in my 20s I had like refined taste of like into like foreign movies. That's all bullshit.
No, it's all garbage.
It's all garbage. It's just fun movies.
Yeah.
But number 4 on that time period, have you guys seen Smoke?
No.
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it.
It's so good. It's such a simple movie. Takes place in New York by Wayne Wang. Harvey Keitel's in it. Forrest Whitaker's in it. Really simple story. And it kind of centers around a tobacco shop in Brooklyn. But yeah, I mean, I could just watch that over and over again. Okay. It's just more about, it's dialogue heavy.
I like this type of film.
Yeah. I can watch one of those. You can just pop it in.
Hell, I watch old movies all the time, so dialogue heavy is fine for me.
Exactly. And then number 3 is an old school one for me, Cool Hand Luke. With Paul Newman.
Yeah.
Good.
Long time since I've seen that.
Yeah, that one's so awesome. And then number 2, I just grew to really, really appreciate it, is The Godfather. Yeah. But it's not making my all-time top 5 list because it's got beat out by Christmas Vacation. I'm sorry. Chevy Chase beats Vito Corleone. I told you, the older you get, the finer tastes.
That is the funniest thing I've heard all night.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Vito.
I can't believe
Vito.
Marlon Brando got beat out by Chevy Chase.
We devoted 2 hours to The Godfather, yet it got beat out by Christmas Vacation. I'm sorry.
I know, right? We had an entire episode extolling the virtues of Godfather.
Can we explain that, by the way?
Oh, it's just, the process, the thought process into deciding that Christmas Vacation is above The Godfather.
I have to say, because this is a subjective list, right?
Yeah, okay,
it's
totally subjective.
It's about me.
Yes, but we want to understand the reasoning.
Sure, absolutely. They both speak to me at this time period of my life.
Okay.
Right? So I guess just growing older.
You're definitely a family man at this point.
Family, right? I'm a family man. I think
that makes sense.
Yeah, within this period of time, you're a family man. You got married.
You did all the adult changing.
Things.
The Godfather, I can always reference to.
Right.
For answers. And I can watch it over and over and over again. Christmas Vacation, the same thing.
Okay.
I can reference to it. I can learn from it.
Right, there's wisdom in there.
There is wisdom in there, and there's entertainment. And I can watch it over and over again. And I feel like, as much as we were talking about earlier, there's a Michael Corleone and a Vito Corleone in all of us. I think there's a Clark Griswold in all of us.
Yes.
That's waiting to come out. And
definitely.
I think it's a brilliant effing movie, and I can watch it.
I can't disagree with it. Now that makes
everything
sense.
From the soundtrack to the jokes, the story, the resolution of it, and his devotion to his family, as flawed as it is. I think there's something that speaks to me in my. I grew up on it, and I remember watching it as a child, and kind of wishing I had a dad like that.
Mm.
And now it's like I have an opportunity to.
Like now you can be that.
I
dad.
can try to be a dad like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
So as much as Godfather speaks to me as a man, Christmas Vacation speaks to me as a father.
Mm.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, I see it.
Yeah, it sounds laughable at first,
Yeah.
but like it does.
Yeah.
Because I think the other, with movies, we think of them as being, it's like, oh, it's just entertainment.
Yeah.
But a lot of I think a lot, and there's a lot of bad movies.
Oh yeah.
But like
And sometimes they're so good.
yeah,
bad.
but there's a lot of them that's like they do speak to us at different points in our life.
Yeah.
As obviously, I didn't go as far as you did with like breaking down my life of movies, because I maybe I could have done that too. By the way, but there's a lot of movies that just speak to us as human beings, and we definitely go through different periods of our life where certain things like really impact us.
Yeah.
And it's in thinking about that, like you putting Christmas Vacation as that number one right there over Godfather at this point in your life, that makes a lot of sense because you're a family man now. And Clark Griswold, it's kind of like the struggle as a father and like trying to
it's real.
Yeah, it really is real.
Yeah.
And it's a comedy, but it's a realistic comedy.
Yeah. Because he's having financial problems. Like he thought he was going to get a bonus, but he didn't get it. Mm-hmm. He's trying to provide for his family.
In-laws come in,
dealing with in-laws,
and then like the bitchy neighbor next door,
and his kid's growing older.
Very Simpsons, by the way.
Puberty. Yeah. Crazy neighbors.
He's like, hey Clark, where are you going to stick that thing? I don't know. Bend over.
Oh.
And
that's Julie Louis-Dreyfus, right?
Yeah.
And as much as Godfather on maybe a sort of grander scale, I can relate to and I kind of draw from, but Christmas Vacation is more real.
Right? Yeah.
I think Godfather, it's necessary. I think it's necessary philosophy for a young man.
Yeah.
Trying to make his mark in the world or carve out his own little empire or whatever. Yeah. But Christmas Vacation, it's a different kind of wisdom. It's the real struggle. It's the real struggle. Yeah. It's the real struggle that we will eventually run into once we attain that empire or
right.
So Godfather is good for the beginning, beginning of manhood, and Christmas Vacation is good for
it's like just maintaining it.
Yeah, maintaining it.
Yeah. So.
Yeah, no, like I said, I'm not laughing at you. It's like it makes a lot of sense. And it does make a lot of sense because there are those like family movies where, it's a realistic struggle.
Yeah.
Obviously, like Andy and I are not in that at the moment, but eventually that's going to happen.
Yeah.
I'm definitely
I can't wait to beat my kids.
Exactly. Just like we got beat.
I know, right? Hey, I got beat, and I turned out to be a pretty awesome human being. So
there you go. Exactly. That's probably why you became awesome.
All right. So we have your 4 penultimate.
Yep. Number one.
So what is your overall like number one?
Number one. It's
your fixed number one.
Best greatest movie of all time, bar none, will never change. Point Break.
Of course. Of course.
Why would you say Point Break is your number one all time?
God, for many reasons.
Never break.
Many reasons. I think the greatest of all the reasons is Patrick Swayze. I have a mild obsession with Patrick Swayze.
If you haven't,
can't argue with that.
If you go check out the
is it all like Patrick Swayze
archive?
films?
Yeah. If you check out the archive of when Eric was on last, then yes.
I think we talked about it.
We did.
Yeah,
talk
that's
about
right.
It. Yeah,
is it all Patrick
your
Swayze
obsession
films,
with Patrick
or is
Swayze,
it just,
or just Patrick Swayze the actor or the person?
Both.
Okay.
Both. I think he's an amazing human being.
Okay.
So you're like a huge like Ghost and
Ghost is not my favorite.
Yeah.
Roadhouse. Next of Kin.
Roadhouse is actually really good.
Red Dawn. But Point Break trumps them all.
Point Break.
Yeah. Trumps them all.
It's been a while since I've seen Point Break.
Yeah. So that's one of the reasons. But as the movie as a whole, I think just stands the test of time. It has a great script. I think the screenplay would challenge Chinatown.
Are we gonna have to do a Patrick Swayze month?
Or like
We may have
Point
to do
Break?
it. We may have to do it.
We'll definitely have Eric on for Patrick Swayze
Yes.
month.
Well, I
Yes.
mean,
Oh,
I think
better.
okay.
Better, I mean.
Well, that might be true because basically, the Fast and Furious franchise has Point Break to thank for their success.
Yes,
because
that's true.
Because
I would
the
agree with that.
first Fast and Furious movie, it was Point Break.
You're right.
It was Point Break.
It was Point Break. Yeah.
Yeah.
All the elements of Point Break.
Mhm.
Yeah. Point Break. The character development
Mhm.
is so spot on. There's foreshadowing.
Mhm.
And there's all the elements of great screenwriting there.
Mhm.
And the acting is on point. Keanu Reeves is awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's like, I think that's his sweet spot, that role, because he got to be kind of the ditzy surfer boy at the same time an action hero. That was pre-Matrix. That
right.
showed that his chops as an action hero, because
Right.
that's like right after Bill and Ted's and Parenthood.
I think Keanu Reeves
that
is
might have
very
been
under.
that might have been the bridging
Yeah,
from
the
his
bridging.
the
Yeah,
bridging
Keanu
from-
Reeves is very
from
underrated.
Goofy.
By
He's
the
underrated,
way.
yeah.
Dude, you guys seen John Wick, right?
Oh yeah,
Oh,
of course.
Oh,
so
dude,
awesome.
he's so
Fucking awesome.
So fun. That's
Right.
like, yeah.
yeah. Have you seen like the training videos? Like,
Yeah, he's
oh,
legit.
Yeah,
He's a guy
like,
that
all the
like,
gun
he-
training and stuff. It's like
Yeah,
he
and the
legitimately
jujitsu.
cares
And
about
jujitsu.
what he does.
Yeah.
yeah,
Which is awesome. Yeah. And you see that in Point Break.
yeah,
He actually had to learn surfing because
Mhm.
a lot of the scenes he did
right.
himself. And yeah, I think that's his bridging.
Yeah, that was his
his
transition
breakthrough
was like,
into a serious
Yeah.
actor.
He was like this goofy kid, and then all of a sudden, he had this opportunity to be kind of goofy, but then also be serious.
yeah.
And he told
And
like that
sort of an
scene, like
action
that
hero.
scene where he runs down, Patrick Swayze's character, and like he has the gun on him. He's
Yeah.
like, and he like they see each other, and like I know who you are, you know who I am. It's like,
Yes.
but he lets him go, and it's like,
Oh yes. Now the psychology of that
Yeah.
is so great.
yeah, all in the eyes, and just like,
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And then we can't forget Gary Busey. the
oh yeah,
psychopath.
Gary Busey.
He's so crazy.
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
it was funny because it was like Gary Busey was always Gary Busey.
Yeah.
like
He was always Gary Busey.
yeah, even before like the,
Even
mental-
the head
before the
trauma
head
and all
trauma.
that.
Yeah.
He was Gary. He was always like that.
Yeah.
I love Buseyism, so,
Yeah.
by the way.
Oh, yeah. But yeah, in Point Break, he gets to be just Gary Busey.
Gary Busey.
All out Gary Busey.
Wow.
And then we got some cameos from like, Anthony Kiedis,
Mm.
Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Tom Sizemore was in that. He had a small role.
Man, I have to watch
Yeah.
Point Break
Yeah.
again.
You
gotta
I
watch
haven't
Point
seen it in
Break.
a while.
It's so good.
All right.
It's so
Point
good.
Break.
All right, now I have to
Yeah.
watch. It's like this is what I love because now I have to. There's either films I haven't seen,
Uh-huh.
or now it's like, I
gotta
gotta
rewatch
watch
it.
this again.
Yeah. And it's directed by Catherine Bigelow, who's a legit director.
Of course.
Yeah.
Mhm.
If she won an Oscar, she beat out her ex-husband. in that. Remember when Avatar came out?
That's right.
Yeah.
They thought he was going to sweep. She swept. And no one
Wait,
realized.
what movie?
Hurt Locker.
Hurt Locker. That's
yeah,
right.
she got Best Director.
Her
and
Locker
Best
was
Picture.
awesome, by the way.
It was awesome.
Yeah,
Nice.
James Renner was in that film, right?
Yeah, Jeremy Renner.
I love Renner because he's a really good actor.
He's really
He doesn't
good.
get a lot of credit for a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he's
No,
like a
he
modern day Sean Penn in a way.
Yeah.
He reminds me of that.
Because
Yeah.
I love the Jason Bourne series.
Yeah.
But like when Jeremy Renner was in his version of Jason Bourne,
Uh-huh.
I felt that film like played a great part in the series,
I
but
agree.
it didn't get the credit.
I agree.
Oh yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was lambasted a little bit. Even when I first watched that movie, I felt like it was a little convoluted and like a little bit messy because at the end you didn't even realize it was the end because like there was like so much action going on.
Uh-huh.
Then once like it was like at the end, you didn't realize it was the end until the credits started coming up. It's like,
Yeah, it was, it
over.
was really like a sequence in like the.
But his performance in it was like I think
He's
like really good.
yeah, he's so
Yeah.
good.
But
Yeah,
his
so underrated.
sequence in it was more of like it was just part of the story,
Uh-huh.
and it's like I felt like he did his part in that like the Jason Bourne franchise.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate that he kind of gets like cast off in like a lot of this stuff, and it's like, man, he's a really good actor.
He's a really great actor.
Yeah.
That reminds me of another movie I saw recently. Have you guys seen it called Wind River?
Mm-mm.
Excuse me.
Is that the one with Sean Penn and Kevin Bacon?
No. It's
that's Mystic River.
That's Mystic River, which is another great movie. Clint Eastwood. Oh my god, that could be on the list too. So good. That's a badass movie.
That recent one. Yeah, with that girl.
Elizabeth Olsen. Yes. God, that's an incredible movie. It's on Netflix right now still.
Okay.
I just picked it out of nowhere. I like whatever. I don't know what it is. I'll just watch it. I think I was homesick that day. That's when I hurt my neck. So I was laying in bed. I was like, "Fuck it, all right, let's watch a movie." Popped it in. I was like, "Holy shit, this was incredible movie!" And Jeremy Renner is so badass in that.
Really?
Badass.
Okay.
And then I looked more into it, and I realized it was written and directed by Taylor Sheridan, who actually wrote. It's apparently Wind River is part of a trilogy he made. This was the third of it. The second one being Hell or High Water.
Oh, I love Hell or High Water.
That's such a great movie. Yeah.
It's such a good movie.
So good. Yeah, right?
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So he wrote that.
Yeah, I actually before the subscription or the movie theater rewards things. I watched Hell or High Water twice in theaters.
It was so good, right? Yeah.
I love that movie.
The writing, the acting, the story.
Yes. Yeah, that end conversation at the very end of the movie between Chris Pine and
on the porch.
Jeff Bridges.
Because they say everything they want to say, but they don't say anything.
Exactly.
It's brilliant writing. Yeah. So he wrote that, but Wind River is equally, maybe even better, because it's actually I have to warn you, Wind River, if you're gonna watch it, it's a very heavy and dark movie. So be ready. It's gonna depress the shit out of you. I showed Sarah, and she was like, I was like, wasn't that great? She's like,
well, I'm gonna slip my wrist now.
Yeah. She's like, you gotta warn me before you tell me to watch something like that, because it was great, but fuck, I'm depressed.
I can see you're saying that. By the way.
She was like, dude, you gotta tell. Thanks for letting me watch that. And then the first one of that trilogy is Sicario. He wrote Sicario. Oh. So I guess he called it
that film I've seen.
So good, right?
Yeah.
Oh my god, so good.
Did you see the second one?
I didn't. No.
Okay.
I don't think he wrote that, but I heard it's okay, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just Josh Brolin, right?
Yeah, just Josh Brolin and Benicio.
Benicio's in it too?
Yeah, he's in
Thanos.
it too. Yeah, Thanos. I have to watch it again. At the time, I think I enjoyed it. I think I have to rewatch it though.
Oh, Sicario?
Oh, the second one.
Oh, the second one.
The second one. Yeah. But the first one, of course, amazing.
Incredible.
Jeez. Yeah.
So he calls it like the New Frontier, the trilogy. Because it kind of is like modern Western movie.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, like this nameless gunslinger, and he's kind of hired to do something, but then like at least in the second one
he gets diverted.
Yeah, he gets like kind of betrayed.
Yeah. And that's kind of what Wind River is too. He's a gunsman, and then he gets diverted to another job, and it's amazing.
Okay, yeah, definitely gonna check it out then.
Yeah, wow.
Especially knowing that it's the same guy who wrote Hell or High Water.
Yeah.
God, I love that movie.
Yeah, so good. I think Wind River, I enjoyed it even more. I would say, just as a movie, more than Hell or High Water. Yeah, okay. It's a totally different movie, but the way it's executed, it's like fuck.
Okay.
As depressing as it is, it's very satisfying too. Yeah. So I definitely.
Yeah, because one of the things I liked about Hell or High Water is like you didn't know who you were really rooting for.
Yeah.
Because like you understood like the point of view of Chris Pine and Ben Foster's characters, but then you also understood like the perspective of the lawmen.
Yeah. Jeff Bridges. Yeah, it's true. You're kind of rooting for everyone.
Yeah, you kind of was like, yeah, go bandits. Like, oh yeah, go, go lawmen. It's like
somebody wins.
Yeah, somebody wins. Yeah, but again, like that stellar performance from Jeff Bridges. Like, spoilers, but when his partner is killed, and like he goes out and he gets revenge, and then. He's like, yeah, I told you, I still got it. And he starts kind of like laughing, and then kind of like
does like crying,
starts crying, laugh, cry. It's like that kind of vacillation between the two. It's like, holy crap,
he's so talented,
so good. Dude. Who knew the dude could have that much range?
Exactly.
Especially like at the age that he is.
Yeah,
So much range, even
So
still,
good.
even though he's like hella old.
Because he could be funny and just charming and depressing at the same time.
Yeah. Such crazy.
Yeah. Anyway, another digression.
Yeah. So I'm gonna ask one last question before we end tonight.
Yeah.
Do you have a bad movie that you like? It's like it's a bad movie, but you still like it regardless. So I'm gonna ask that question for both of you guys, and I'm gonna end with like my kind of thing that I like, even though it's a bad movie, for my own reasons. So
like a guilty pleasure.
Yeah, guilty pleasure movie, or something like that you kind of like. So, and I'm gonna use the bathroom while you guys discuss this.
Okay. I have to think about this. A guilty pleasure.
I almost feel like Point Break is one.
Guilty pleasure movie.
I don't know. My mind kind of goes to like Jean-Claude Van Damme. Steven Seagal.
Yeah, me too.
Right? They're so bad, but so good.
Thinking. Because I know I have them, but just like being like on the spot and trying to think about it.
Yeah.
Guilty pleasure. A movie that's bad, but I like it anyways.
I feel like my whole list is full of them.
Yeah, I mean, now that you mention it, it's probably a Jean-Claude movie,
right?
Probably like Bloodsport or something.
Yeah. Although Bloodsport's a pretty good movie.
Yeah.
But do you remember?
But just like the acting is like so over the top.
Yeah.
Like.
Do you remember Double Impact?
Is that the one with Dennis Rodman?
No. It's a Jean-Claude Van Damme movie.
Yeah, with Dennis Rodman.
Dennis Rodman's in that?
Wasn't it?
He's the twin. He plays twins.
Oh, he plays twins.
Yeah.
Okay.
One's an evil twin.
Wait, is that like the remake of the Jackie Chan movie?
No, I don't think so. He plays twins.
Oh, that's right. And they're separated at birth.
Yes.
And like
one's a bad guy.
Yeah, one's a bad guy, and I think the bad twin ends up like sacrificing himself.
Yeah. It's such a bad movie.
Yeah, and Bolo's in it again.
That's right. For no good reason.
Yeah, for no good reason. Just because.
That's one.
Okay.
Another bad movie. God.
Maybe Bright for me.
Oh, is that the Netflix movie?
Yeah, the Netflix movie with Will Smith.
Will Smith and Joel Edgerton.
Yeah.
Yeah. I never watched that.
It's funny because like I don't necessarily consider it a bad movie because I kind of enjoyed it. But everyone told me it's like how much they didn't like it.
Was that the one where like he's like dealing with like monsters and shit?
Yeah, it's kind of like
it was like kind of the racist, the race thing.
Right. Think Training Day and Lord of the Rings.
Wow.
I'm not even joking.
That's exactly what it is.
That's exactly what it is. Lord of the Rings, Mr. Training Day.
Oh. What was Eric's response to this?
I haven't picked.
You haven't come up with one?
Down.
Yeah. Okay, so mine. Okay, and this isn't like one particular movie in general, but a series that I've grown up watching, and I still continue to watch on through Netflix now that it's come back. I love Mystery Science Theater 3000. I don't know if you guys are fans of the show, by the way.
I never watched it,
but they kind of watch these really shitty like science fiction horror.
Oh, okay.
No, they're not B movies. They're like D and like E movies. Like they're so bad.
Okay.
But what makes them great is because they make fun of them throughout they're making fun of them throughout the film.
Yeah.
And it's kind of I think like the worst one I've seen out of them is the Santa Claus versus the Devil. And
the devil.
Yeah,
That's a movie.
Yeah, so that was a movie that was made. It's a foreign film.
Okay.
That they and the
Did they
premise.
call him annual? Did they call Santa Claus annual gift man?
No, not in this film. But the premise of Mystery Science Theater 3000 is that they're watching all these really shitty movies. They're terrible.
Okay.
Really terrible. But they have characters through there. There's like the one of the characters there. There's a couple of like his robot friends that they're there watching the movie. They're forced to watch the movie through like these evil overlords to like kind of like it's a science experiment, and it's like to test their minds, their fortitude to watch these terrible films. And then they have to like, so they're sitting through these films and they're making fun of them throughout the whole process. And it's like it's kind of for like regular people, it's maybe not for them, but like for like the cinephiles and like just kind of like the crazy nerds like the three of us. Yeah. I think we would I think you guys would very much enjoy this kind of experience.
I used to watch a few
they don't have the whole library of Mystery Science Theater on Netflix, but they have like some of the old episodes which I grew up watching. I've watched like most of the episodes.
So is it the whole movie?
It's not like the whole, like it's usually about like an hour and a half at most.
Okay, because it used to air on TV, so they had to be within
they had to edit to a certain point.
Yeah.
And then now they've brought back the brand on Netflix. So there's a new series. The ones that they had on the older episodes were a guy by the name of I forget his last name, but Joel. And then they had another guy on there as well. So there was two guys that were kind of like the main actors on there, along with the robot guys. And that ran for about like 10 years, and there was it's kind of like one of those like cult shows that like it's like they kind of brought it back. Netflix brought it back and now it's on for like a second season. It's coming back for a third, it looks like. And with Jonah Ray is the new human actor on there. And it's just it's making fun of these like really shitty films. but that's the thing, is like they're so shitty that like there's a lot to make fun of, and it makes the films fun.
Yeah.
And I have a soft spot in my heart for it because I grew up like watching like the old shows like with my dad, and we loved it. It's just movies are so terrible, but it's like it was like every Saturday morning we would wake up early to go and like watch this stuff, and it's fun, man. I think I don't know if your sons would enjoy it, but I know you would enjoy it.
That sounds like something I would totally enjoy.
And I'll be honest, like when I watch films, even if like they're really good, because like Andy and I have watched several films together now for Nocturnal Transmissions. Because normally we watch them separately, but like when we watch them together, he knows that like I talk a lot of shit to the film like while I'm watching it, and it's kind of like the Mystery Science Theater 3000 in me. I can't get it out of me. Like, I have to share my like stupid quips about the film, even if it's a good one, while I'm watching it. And
this is true. And then like when we watch Barry Lyndon, we're just like talking shit the whole time.
I talk so much shit throughout that film, and I love the film. It's a great film.
You guys should film that. Like, do your own Mystery Science Theater, like.
And I know we've definitely talked about it.
Yeah.
So, because I even like with good films, like I talk shit. So much. Like when I'm watching it by myself, I talk so much shit. It's like, why isn't anyone here to hear my great clips about the film?
That's funny.
So we might do that in the future.
You should do that.
Maybe we'll include you.
Yeah, it's funny because like I think they recently adapted that format where they'll like play like stupid reality TV shows, and then people like just react to it.
Oh,
so like I think what we should do if we decide to do that, like if let's say it's the three of us, is we'll watch the film and like we'll make like our observations and write stuff down like you in your notepad like there, and then we'll actually like then we'll rewatch it and like we'll do like the film like with our observations and like kind of our funny scripted humor.
Yeah.
And I think that's how we should approach it. That
cool.
way, it's like we know like what's coming up. And it's like here it is,
Right. Live commentary.
Right.
Yeah,
That'd be fun.
Yeah.
but I would like that because I want to. I think Mystery Science Theater 3000 does a great thing because they're terrible. Really, and there's thousands and thousands of terrible films out there that are out there, and there's so much like humor to be made. Like if we're funny, we can make shit up.
Yeah.
And I would love to like do stuff like that.
That'd be fun. Yeah.
Is this one of your cop out answers again? So you instead, so you don't have to give a specific answer.
Oh yeah, what's your answer? I have an answer.
Oh, so as far as like, so my I think like the shitty film that's great. I guess because for me, like I love over the top like action films. And I wouldn't like say like that they're necessarily like terrible movies per se. But like like Live Free or Die Hard is kind of like one of those films that's like it's not like a great film. Like it's not anywhere near the top 100 or even the top like 500 say. But like it's so like it's over the top. It's crazy. It's ridiculous. Like never it can't like be recreated in real life. But it's fuck, man. I love that movie so much.
I gotta watch that. I stopped at Die Hard with a Vengeance.
No, man. Continue. Continue. It's like it's so like the last two movies of the Die Hard franchise are so over the top, but it's so over the top that it's great.
Oh.
I don't know about that.
If you love ridiculous in films, don't take it seriously whatsoever.
Right.
But if you don't care about like the seriousness of the film, it's great.
Nice.
So
it's so bad, it's so good. It's so bad, it's good.
You have to be okay with absurdities.
Yeah.
Live Free or Die Hard. That's your pick.
Absolutely.
All right. What about you, Andy?
It's so hard because even because I was saying like with the example of Bright, even though other people didn't like it, I still thought it was good.
Yeah.
And even though, well, I can admit that there were some
Bright.
Yeah.
What was Bright about?
I told you.
What's the story of that?
It's a story. Again, it's Training Day mixed with Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And orcs live alongside with humans and elves. Well, not elves because they have like their own. Like elves are like like the wealthy elite or whatever. So they have like their own.
My keys are over there with a bottle opener, by the way.
With their own like special area, and they more or less run the federal government.
Yeah, right there.
And there's like this. There was a dark lord that used to rule over the land, but then like
where's this Lord of the Rings?
Like I said, Training Day mixed with Lord of the Rings. And there's this dark lord, and all the species banded together to overthrow them, and there are certain people who no one is like magical in this world except for like the Dark Lord, and then a few other people, and there's like these things that there are these magical devices, wands that occur. So and anyone and anyone who's not predisposed to magic or to be able to do magic, you touch it, you basically descend, you burn up and die. But there are those who are have like magic within them, and they could wield the wand, and they could like use it to. It's basically they treat it like it's like a nuclear weapon. And so and those people are referred to as brights. Oh. Yeah. So hence the title of the movie.
Sounds like a terrible movie.
Yeah.
That's what you're paying.
I mean, me describing it, I'm like starting to see it. But
Yeah, but that's the point of this premise.
And I agree that there are, some problems with like the world, and but I still enjoyed it regardless.
Cool.
So
I'll check it out.
Bright is
Will Smith's in that, right?
yeah, Will Smith.
And Joel Edgerton.
Yeah. Although Joel Edgerton does a really good job playing an orc.
Sounds like you're just making this up as you go along. All right.
It was on Netflix, okay?
It's Lord of the Rings and the evil lord. You got to rub a rock, and then you turn bright, and then Joel Edgerton's a cop. Like, what the fuck?
I know. Just me hearing myself describe this movie, it's like, dude, you're so full of shit.
Yeah.
But it's a real movie. It really did happen. It was what was it, Max Landis or whatever?
I don't remember.
The director?
No, he wrote it.
He wrote it?
Yeah.
Mm.
But yeah, again, I wholly what's that word I'm looking for? I fully admit that there are problems with this movie, but I like it anyway.
That's all right, man.
Yeah.
Hey,
nobody's perfect.
Yeah. Even though right now I just described it to you guys, and a part of me can't believe that is actually a movie.
Exactly. I'm like,
let me say that there are thousands of movies like Bright, where it's like it doesn't make any sense, but it's still
true.
good despite how
true.
bad it is.
That's true.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. That's a great thing about like film. Like there's a lot of like for us cinephiles out there. There's a lot of like the all-time greats that we all love, and there's reasons why it's so good. And then there's the films that we love that it's like, why the fuck do we love this thing?
Exactly.
Yeah. But anyways, that's the episode.
I didn't pick mine.
Oh, okay.
That's right. You're right.
Yeah,
you just
yeah.
kind of listed. What are your top 5, by the way?
Top 5.
No. His guilty pleasure.
His guilty pleasure. Oh, you didn't pick your guilty pleasure.
No, not yet. Yeah. Well, my top 5. Okay, I'll go back to that. Guilty pleasure. I have 2. I just realized I have 2.
Okay.
One is Mr. Baseball.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's such a bad movie.
Oh, jeez.
So bad,
But it's so good. It's so fun to watch.
Yeah.
Tom Selleck as
that fish out of water
over
character.
the hill baseball player in Japan.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of those films I have to watch every time I see it.
Yeah, you have to watch it.
Yeah, you have.
It's a terrible movie.
Plus, I love Tom Selleck, by the way.
Yeah.
Who doesn't love Tom Selleck?
Yeah.
Come on.
Magnum
But he's
PI is
so
like
funny
one
in that.
of the that is one of the guilty pleasure show, by the way.
Yeah.
Magnum PI.
Magnum PI. Yeah, that's true.
Higgins.
I like his new show, Blue Bloods. Blue Bloods.
Blue Blood. Yeah.
But by the way, as far as Higgins, he's been in like he's been in a few films that we've seen recently. By the way, Blazing Saddles, and then he was in another film that we watched recently as well. Like before Magnum PI.
Who did he play in Blazing Saddles?
He was one of the townspeople. He was one of the Johnsons.
Oh, okay.
So my equal guilty pleasure, I realize, is Cliffhanger.
Oh, that's a good one.
That is a good one.
That's such a bad movie, but it's so fun, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so those are my 2. My top 5 again are
recap.
3 Amigos, Heat, 7 Samurai, Christmas Vacation, and Point Break. And I wanted to make an honorable mention because of the top 5. It reminded me. You guys remember High Fidelity?
Oh, yeah.
John Cusack?
Yeah.
He's all about top 5. And his record shop's called Top 5 Records. He talks about top 5 albums and top 5 girlfriends, top 5.
Oh, that's right.
So it just reminded me of that. But that's such a great movie.
Yeah. Do you want to recap your, since you wrote it down, recap Andy's top 5, by the way.
So we'll start over. Andy's top 5. Starting from the top, Captain America. Well, no particular order. Captain America, Winter Soldier, Dumb and Dumber, Reservoir Dogs, U-571, and Casablanca.
Okay, and recap my top 5.
I'll start backwards. 4 of the 5 are in no particular order: Psycho, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Eyes Wide Shut, Memento, and the fixed number 1 is Casablanca.
Yeah, and then guilty pleasure for you was
Bright.
Bright. And then for me, I have Mystery Science. Anything from Mystery Science Theater 3000. And Live Free or Die Hard.
Live Free or Die Hard. That's right. Live Free, Die Hard.
God, it's such a good film. I'm sorry, it's so bad, it's so good.
So you say you took out a helicopter with a car.
Yeah,
I was out of bullets. That is a legitimate line from the movie.
Really?
It's so good. It's so bad. It's so good.
That was a quote from the movie.
Wow. An actual line. They actually wrote that.
Yeah, they actually wrote that.
Wow.
God, it's so good. Fuck, man. I love that film so much.
It's funny because Timothy Olyphant is
he's the bad guy.
He's the villain, and I love that guy.
He's great.
And I think he was wasted in this movie. In that movie.
Oh, really?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, Live Free or Die Hard.
He was wasted.
He was wasted in that movie.
Oh, wow. He was Justified, right?
Like I said, yeah, it's so bad. It's good.
It's good, yeah.
Oh, the last two Die Hard films are so bad. It's good.
I gotta watch those.
Yeah,
I stopped at
like if you love action but you don't care about plot. Watch those films. It's so good. And that's why those are. I would actually, if I can include a second one, I would put the last Die Hard on there.
The last two Die Hard.
Yeah, because they're just so over the top and crazy and ridiculous that they're great.
Yeah, because like in Good Day to Die Hard,
that's right. That was the last one.
Yeah,
right?
that was the last one. Yeah, it's based. The story revolves around John McClane. He's trying to reconnect with his son, and his son turns out to be a CIA agent. And then during the climax of the film, there's this rooftop gun battle with a helicopter, and then something happens, and then they jump through a skylight, several floors. I think it was 5 stories, through the skylight, and then they land into a pool.
Oh my god!
As they're being fired upon by a helicopter.
Fucking awesome!
Hell yeah!
So, Live Free or Die Hard is him reconnecting with his daughter.
Yeah.
And then the last one is with his son. Yeah. Fucking awesome! all 5 of them you need to watch.
So he's a shitty dad.
Basically.
Yeah. Terrible.
It's awful.
But
it's the worst father ever.
All right, well that's the episode.
Yeah, that was fun.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, it was so much fun. For you cinephiles out there, I hope you enjoyed the episode. So these are all our personal top 5s. We diverge on many accounts.
Yes.
We talked about some of our shitty pleasures that we loved. Watch MST3K. Watch some of our our favorite shitty films that we love. Lots of films to enjoy. Maybe the top 5s that we presented, you maybe haven't seen some of those films. Go ahead and check them out. Definitely, Eric was much more prepared than the rest of us.
Yeah.
I mean, he broke down his whole life of film.
Right. I hope you appreciate the quality of entertainment that we're bringing you. All right, this man broke down his life in movies.
If this is my life, that's pretty freaking depressing.
Your life in filmdom, it's okay.
My life in film, yeah. Actually, it's not so bad. Three Amigos, Heat.
I think
that's actually not that bad.
I think it's a good breakdown of your life in filmdom.
Yeah. It's kind of weird doing that.
Yeah. I think you did a great job.
I mean, I'm sure if we did it, our list would be similar to yours.
Yeah, I think so.
We'd probably have a pretentious.
I know Santa Claus would be on my list of filmdom in my life.
Santa Claus
with the
Santa Claus.
Yeah.
Okay. That's a
Claus
great
with
a E.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, but thank you guys.
There was a time in my life where I memorized that film, the whole dialogue in that film.
Really?
That's how much I watched that film.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But I was 10 when I watched that film, so...
Can I just give a quick shout out?
Yeah.
When you said memorize, it reminded me Three Amigos. Excuse me, at the time. My best buddy, at the time, he's still one of my best buddies, but he just lives in Korea. A friend named Ron. Shout out, Ron. He and I, we loved that movie, and we would recite it line by line. This was like when we were like 8 or 9 years old.
Did you? Were you able to sing the Buttercup song?
Oh yeah. We did the whole thing, the dance routine, and everything. Every time we see each other, our greeting was,
Nice.
Nice.
So yeah, just like Santa Claus, I memorized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So check out our great films, like our top 5 films of all time.
Yes, please.
Check out our shitty films that we love. Yeah, honestly, like it's up to you. Like, what are your top 5 films? Like, why don't you, that's the whole point of the comment section. Write down your 5 films of all time. Like, what do you like?
Yeah.
Maybe we haven't seen your top 5, and we want to check it out. So go ahead and comment, like, subscribe, and we'd love to hear from you. And if YouTube doesn't fit your scene and you're watching this, you can also hit us up on our social media channels at Podcast COJ on Twitter, at Circle of Jerks Podcast on Instagram. We'll definitely be posting some segments on both of those, and we'd love to hear from you. So for myself, Robert, for Andy, and for our guest, Eric, we'll see you next time.
All right. Thanks so much for having me, guys. That was that was so fun.
Yeah,
love to have you on.
This
Eric.
night was a blast.
Yeah.
I've had so much fun.
Me too.
Yeah.
I've been looking forward to this for a long time.
Me too. As soon as you guys called me, I was like, yes.
And now I would have to say you're the greater half of Nam Fan Band.
Oh, yes, finally.
Recognition.
Although most would still disagree, but I'll take
That's
it.
okay.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're like a bad film that I love.
I am Mr. Baseball.
Yeah, you're his guilty pleasure.
Yeah. I am. What am I? What is yours again? I am.
You're Live for Your Die Hard for me.
Die Hard, yeah. Very cool. Very cool.
All right. Well, see you guys next time.
See you later, guys.
Deuces.
Thank you so much.
Wow.
Deuces.
Oh man, it's so fun.
That was fun.
Yeah,
That was really fun.
Woo. Damn.
I have to wake up at 4:30 tomorrow, but this
Oh, you
is
do?
so much fun. Yeah,
shit.
it's all good, man.
Damn.
Worth it.
Totally worth it.